Welcome to beautiful Austin, Texas for the Open in Austin, presented by Lonestar Disc. Waco was a fantastic start to the Texas swing. As it continues in Austin, how will the field handle this brand new course? You'll find out live on the Disc Golf Network. Juliana, let's watch some disc golf.
Sounds great.
And Tatar in the building, coming off her Waco win in dramatic fashion now.
Oh my goodness, it certainly was. It was one of the most memorable finishes that we've seen in a very long time.
And welcome to the booth in Austin. I'm Ian Anderson. That is Hall of Famer, 5-time world champion Juliana Korver.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing the winds that are howling out there right now. I think it's much warmer in here.
A little cold, a little windy out there, some adverse conditions. We'll see how the field handles it. Last week, what did we watch with Tatar there?
Kristen is such a dominant player that even when she plays mediocre, she is close enough to the top that she can snatch the win. And, you know, Ella had played so well throughout the week, and it was really hers for the taking. It was heartbreaking to see she kind of crumbled at the end, and it was OB to finish. And, you know, Kristen didn't even know that she was right there for the win in the press conference. She mentioned that earlier in the round, she looked at the scoreboard, and she had just taken a double bogey, and she saw the score, and she thought that it hadn't been added to the scoreboard yet. So she thought she was 2 or 3 strokes back of where she actually was. So she did not know until right before the putt, that she needed that and she could win.
What a putt it was.
It sure was.
I mean, that is a make or miss. That's a 2 or a 4, very likely. Let's check out some of these highlights from last week at Waco. Looked a little shaky at times, but then just dialed. She has that kind of clutch gene, I swear.
Well, you know, she just always seems so calm. And remember, she's not even at 100% right now because she had surgery in the off season on her arm, and it was deemed a success, but she still has numbness, so she's not pushing things right now.
Did you see this made the front page of the Estonian Times or whatever?
I did, yes.
It's so cool. That putt. That was a big one. This on 18.
And look at how scary that is, because if she misses, that's likely going to hyzer off left into the water. Great win for Tatar, but you got to feel for Ella. You do, though. You know, Kristen is such a gracious winner.
Yeah. Here are your podiums. Tatar is pretty good at getting on the podium, Juliana.
Yeah, I would say that she's currently the best at getting on the podium. Yes.
Hasn't missed a podium yet. Incredible. Well, since 21 anyway. Huge thanks to our friends at Statmando, the official data analytics partner of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Oh, there she is. Fastest player to reach 10 major or Elite Series wins, 29 events. Took 15?
You know, honestly, I'm even still, because it was a different era, so you really can't compare across the two. I'm by Kristen's race to the top than my own right there.
All right, that's great. Do you have a favorite of your 15?
First world win, by far.
Cool.
By far.
Check out your scores early on, see how the field is tackling this new course. It is looking pretty tough so far. Evelina's arm, you know, might come in handy today on this course.
Yeah, you know, this is a golf course that has a disc golf course placed on top of it, and often you think that they're going to be extraordinarily long, and this one is not extraordinarily long. Obviously, there are long holes, but I don't think that is going to be the number requirement to play well out here.
Yeah, some really technical shots in this. Here. Current conditions, that is a bundled up Paige Pierce. 44 degrees, 21 miles an hour. Oof.
That wind is going to make it feel much colder than 44. I'm sure that the feels like is in the 30s.
Jessica Weiss, there's Ella Hansen.
Ella looks like she's going to go skiing.
She's from the Pacific Northwest.
She should have plenty of warm clothes to be prepared for this.
Mitten game strong. Are you a mitten or a glove lady?
Mittens.
Yeah, same. We should be teeing off here shortly. There's Jessica Weiss, as promised. Jessica Weiss throwing well from both sides. Comes in handy on a course like this.
It certainly does. There are some holes where the sidearm will definitely come into handy because we've got a lot of surrounding the fairways. And on this first hole, for example, there's a big bushy tree off on the right-hand side, and players need to throw out towards the OB road and bring it back in. So the natural sidearm is a good choice there.
You were telling me you parked the MPO pin yesterday?
No, I said I came close to the MPO pin. And when I say I came close, I mean within about 100 feet.
That is incredibly close to that pin. That is so, I feel like it's almost a sucker par 3
It was
to start
close
the day
enough
for
that Chris Dickerson clapped. So.
Yeah, all right. Well done. All right, we got Paige Pierce on the tee.
That was a pretty conservative shot by Paige, just getting it out around the tree.
I like the play.
Yeah, especially with 20-mile-an-hour winds. It is.
Sarah Hokum.
Catching the edge of the trees right there. It is hard to force yourself to throw left enough to get around that big bushy tree because you are throwing directly at the OB line.
Yep.
There is a downhill component to this, actually a significant downhill component to this hole. It's about 35 feet from pin to green that you can't quite tell right now.
It looks like they're working with a bit of a headwind on this one. You said you had a tailwind yesterday.
It was
Or
left to right from behind, yeah.
Weiss. Also finding that tree.
There's quite a bit of room right there where they're landing. If you push it, it gets tighter and tighter.
I think like just a 600-foot hole, so still reachable even with a tree hit early, or early-ish.
However, the fairway gets much, much tighter as you get closer to the green.
It's almost a peninsula green down there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yes.
Hansen.
Ooh, I
nice.
like that. She put a lot more on that.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a fantastic throw. And after you get past that big bushy tree, there's really nothing else in your way, so it doesn't matter which side of the fairway that you're on as far as obstacles.
She's going to love that extra distance into that peninsula green. Here's your U-Disc powered course close-up. The Harvey Penick Disc Golf Course in Austin, Texas, established right now. Thanks to TD Neil Dombra and Evan Spur. Number 8 disc golf city in the U.S. I buy that. A lot of disc golf and good weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And Austin's always been known for its disc golf.
Have you ever been here?
Many, many times, but decades ago. The national doubles was played in Round Rock, just north of Austin, for many years in a row.
There's Walnut Creek running through the course, 30 feet deep in spots, not getting your disc back out of that. And some great holes out here, some really nice score separators. Over 14,000 discs on the U-Disc app. Go grab it if you're trying to find a course, track your score. The app for disc golfers. Sarah Hokum back on one, her second shot into this peninsula green.
You can see the tall grass on the right. There is an OB line right at that tall grass as well.
This looks pretty far, Juliana.
Yes, yeah.
She's still 350 something, maybe 4.
All but Ella stayed somewhat close to that bushy tree. So yes, they still have a significant, well, they probably could get there because of the downhill component, though I doubt they're going to try because of how close the OB is to the basket.
Yeah, I feel that risk reward just not there. We'll see how aggressive Hokum gets.
Yeah, she didn't put very much on it. Beautiful control, just going downhill, just trying to stay in between the lines.
He's got distance from Perkins. His page is 355 out. Okay, Perk, we just watched Paige's first shot of the day. How'd it look out to your eyes down there?
Yeah, Paige said it was just a little too cold and wet in that rugby field where they parked last night to get a warm-up in. So it was actually their first shot of the day there on T1.
Oh, wow, no warm-up throws. Weiss getting down there, you think that one's OB?
I think it's flirting with the OB. If I had to guess, I would say yes.
Yeah. Looks like the line goes into the tree line a little bit, but not much. Pierce.
Two throws and two sidearms.
There you can see that OB line you talked about.
Yes, it's right. I believe it's right on the edge and the whole way down.
That's fired.
That's all she wrote.
One more for the... One more.
There was one while she was tired. Inadvertently.
Okay. Well, I meant like a planned roll or
Oh,
something.
on 12 rollers.
Is that the one back there with that stupid Mando?
The peanut.
Yeah.
Peanut roll.
The peanut hole.
Oh, she's already on her jet.
Dude. What the...
Ella Hansen, a booming drive after we heard Paige Pierce talk strategy a little bit.
That kind of distance off the tee makes this hole significantly easier.
Let's see how aggressive Hansen gets with her second.
One thing that's even nicer about Ella's position is that she was on top of a golf teeing area. There are a lot of undulations on this particular green and some other ones that we'll see as well. And so you can have a footing that is significantly inclined that will potentially throw off your timing.
A very nice approach from Hansen, setting up a birdie look on one. Ella Hansen with the halal guy style spicy start to the day. You'll love to see it. That thing dancing in the wind. Beautifully done. Word is there's a lot of good halal guy spots up in the Pacific Northwest where Ella Hansen's from. They're all over the country. Hokum, her third into the green.
Trusting her disc to pull it out to the left and knowing that it's going to come back, even though you've got the OB cart path right there. You can see there's a little undulation right before the basket that's obstructing the bottom of the basket. So you also have to take that into play when you're deciding how hard to throw and the angles.
Paige Pierce. She just laid up. She does that very quickly when she lays up. Maria Oliva with a long look for birdie. Hole 2. Oh.
So smooth and beautiful. The release that she has on that disc is just amazing. It doesn't look like it's just effortless.
Yeah. She's one of those throwers. Jessica Weiss. Getting a little helicopter bid. That was not for eagle, though.
That's her very safe way of approaching the basket.
I like this.
Mm-hmm. She makes a considerable amount of those, too, from a long distance.
She really does. A live look down from our Flight Factory drone. Huge thanks to them. You're looking at Hokum lining up her par comebacker. What do you do in a wind like this, Juliana?
I like a tailwind putt
Yeah?
because my tendency is to be conservative and scared and leave it short. And the wind, the way I putt, will push it into the basket.
Oh, Holcomb almost coasting that one in, but we'll drop in a bogey instead. Pierce for her par. Hansen for birdie. And that is the fourth birdie of the day on hole 1. When we come back after this quick break, your FPO feature card takes the tee.
Why disc golf? It's the people. It's fun.
It's being in nature.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
It's different.
It's the challenge. It's the throws.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or two. And let it fly with Lonestar disc.
This looks perfect. Off the basket. Now it's rolling. It's headed for the OB. This needs to sit. Oh my goodness. It's safe. Right on the line. She's going to have about a 30-foot putt for the win. Okay, here we go. The putt is up. Boom, it's in. Strong side with authority. What an incredible moment. Yes.
I think this golfing can improve our community in many ways. It brings people together.
That maybe some of these kids who feel a little bit lost could find something like disc golf, find friends, find people to come together and play the sport.
Encouraging people to work together, kids to know one another, love one another.
A way for these kids to have a really fun thing to do together.
I think that's what we need in the world, love one another and do life together.
What people are going to notice when they pick up the Supreme Series is superior grip, superior durability.
The inspiration of creating a new disc line for Dynamic Disc was to actually step up the quality even more.
Our friends over at Latitude 64 have to have special molds made. And this Supreme line of plastic is truly a premium plastic. It's a premium disc, and you will know it when you touch it and when you throw it, that it's as good as it gets.
The Wasp, especially the Z Wasp, it did go in the bag really early. It's great for kind of that in-between stability. I can flex it if I need to. I can throw it on hyzer. It's dependable and it holds up in the wind.
I just think the plastic is very premium.
I think it's the quality of plastic.
It's unlike any other plastic that you'll find in the industry.
It's something I can consistently trust.
You're going to want to put multiple discs in your bag.
You can only say so much where they have to eventually just try it themselves and see.
Ella Hansen now has 4 strokes with just 3 holes left to play. Unbelievable. We saw that roll out of bounds, Kristen, to cut the deficit to 2, and she's done it. This is exactly what we're asking for. Drama all the way to the final hole. Kristen to win the Waco Annual Charity Open. She's done it. Kristen to tar.
What a comeback last week for this woman, Kristen Tatar.
Yeah, Kristen put herself in a position where she was right there for the taking, but I really feel like this one Ella gave away.
A little bit, yeah. I will give her a little bit. It's a tough stretch down the Waco finish.
Oh, absolutely it is. And, Ella's still very, very young in the sport, so this is absolutely a learning experience for her, and I expect that she's going to come back stronger for it.
Lisa Fakis on the tee of 1. Texas native. Solid start to the day. The second most winningest player in Texas.
Yeah, she looked as calm as can be in that 20-mile-an-hour wind. She pulled it out over the OB road even more aggressively than we saw the previous card, and she's a little bit farther down the fairway because of it.
Katrina Allen. Wonder if she got the battery in the jacket this week.
I think that's her big puffy.
The puffier one?
Yeah, maybe she has multiple battery jackets.
Have you dabbled there yet?
Oh yeah. I have a vest that has batteries in it.
Ooh, Allen into the tree early. Look for a very long approach, probably a par play from there.
There, that's the battery one.
There we go. It's a double jacket kind of day out here. And Deanne Carey. She's really finding her game lately. These last couple years,
She's always been a very strong player. She's just kind of been overlooked.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see her get a little spotlight now.
Going to the backhand. Brings in the OB left.
Yeah, that's a very strong win to keep it turned over. So unfortunately, at least she got most of her distance. She's not going to have to bring it back too far.
That's a really good point.
Not only do they have to control the angle, but they also have to control the height, because remember, this is approximately 35 feet downhill to the pin.
Just enough flip to get around that tree, and in business is the Estonian. That's nice. We were talking about the jacket. Here is the battery-powered jacket.
Deanne Carey also has a battery-powered vest that I'm sure she's wearing underneath that pink coat today.
That's a game changer. Like, honestly, like keeping your core temperature up.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And you can also put your hands in the pockets, and there are heaters right by the pockets so that you can keep them warm as well.
Love it. Here is Korver's Keys, brought to you by our friends at blackinkdisc.com, the premium disc golf store.
Well, with 20-mile-an-hour winds, I think the first one is probably the most critical today, is wind control, to know what to throw in both a headwind and a tailwind. And on the side, with the wind coming from left and right, you need to control the angle. And that angle also comes into play with where you land your disc with all of the OB. You don't want to cut roll. And course knowledge. There are a lot of blind OBs on this course. There are greens that you can't see that are out of bounds. There are lines that line the fairway that are, sometimes they're right on the edge of the grass, sometimes they're inside of the grass. So knowing where you're at.
Allen throwing 2-on-1. Looks like should be fine. Up and down from there.
Yeah, I think she should be fine from there.
Hansen throwing 2. That was incredible.
If you knew the difficulties of this hole, you'd even be more impressed by that throw. It's very tricky to get under the basket. There's a protector tree on the right-hand side, and it's asking a lot.
Hanley with a birdie look.
Oh, I thought that was too low, but it just sneaks over the edge.
Getting back to even, thanks to that one finding home. And back to 1 for Carey. Oh, that was fake. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's fine.
So she's in very good position to par this hole. And with the conditions today, par is going to be very, very respectable.
Agreed. There's Don Smith on the bag as usual for Lisa. Now we have Deanne Carey throwing 3 after the OB drive.
Hoping that one comes out of it a little bit. And I'm afraid that she might have found the out of bounds on the right-hand side.
Playing a little army golf there, unfortunately. Pierce, her second.
So the girls are throwing out over the out of bounds and over the green, and they have to bring it into outlined green area here. She looks like she's is safe, but she's not that close to the pin. It's a very tricky second shot on hole number 2.
And Tatar, fantastic drive, throwing 2. Oh.
I am... Oh, that's not hole 2. That's hole 1.
Hole 1,
That's
yeah.
why I was confused. Yes. She had way too much on that shot. There is a downhill component from where she's standing. That was just totally misjudged. We don't often see that from
I wonder
Kristen.
if the drive was a little farther than she'd been throwing in practice,
Perhaps,
maybe.
yeah.
We'll have a chance to save par, but we just saw Hoka miss that.
Well, and also remember, these women are probably wearing 5 layers of clothing right now.
Yes.
So that is not how they practice the rounds. The practice rounds were 70 degrees.
Oh.
So it changes the way that you throw when you have that many layers on.
Allen's third. I'll look for her par. A birdie bin for Pierce. Ahead on 2. And she'll likely tap in par from there. Back to 1. A live look down to this, really, it just pinches down so tightly.
It does. The left side is inside of circle 1. The right side's right on circle 1.
Oh, dang.
And there's a little bit of slope right to left and falling away behind it.
There's Facus laying up. She does that nicely for par. 4s are looking good on 1.
Yes, especially in the conditions today. A 4, but even without these conditions, a 4 is something to be proud of on this hole.
Carey already throwing 5 after 2 OB throws. Try to save the bogey from range. Smart layup?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she's coming off of 2 shots that didn't go as planned, and tricky conditions with a slope behind the basket and headwind, so yeah, no fault there,
There you
laying
go.
up. We don't often see Kristen out of bounds.
I know. Coming back for par. A bogey start for the Waco champion. The rough is thick out here.
In places, yes.
Yeah.
In places, it is littered with tiny little saplings. that are so close together that a disc cannot fly through them.
Oh. Alan for 4.
Katrina reminding us that it is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, that's right. Ooh. Maybe the wind pushing that one a little right, or just a miss.
I think it was just a miss.
Yeah.
But the wind could prompt that because the wind changes your view and your equanimity.
Coming back for bogey. Finding the pole there. Ahead on the course, Ella Hansen. You saw the approach. We got a 2-for-2 start on this course.
Fantastic start. Whew. I love to see Ella come back strong. You know, even at the press conference, big smile on her face, even though all of the questions were about the loss. So, you know, I really feel good about her prospects for the rest of the year.
I'm with you. She's got a great mental game. Really doesn't stay down on herself too long.
No, she's realistic in where she should be and where she's at. So.
How long has she been playing disc golf? Like 3 years?
2 years, I think.
Yeah. Ella on 3. Double mando.
The mandatory is only about 25 feet off the pin, so it's not a problem hitting it, but it does change the way that you might want to approach the hole otherwise.
Hansen needs to be out in circle 2.
It's hard to do much better on that. There's a low ceiling through the double mando, so you can't get up too high, and of course it is surrounded by OB on both sides.
I really like how the course they've set up here. It's tight but fair, you know?
I thought it was really fun. You know, I actually forgot that I was on a golf course, a ball golf course, when I was playing it. There are times, of course, you see greens and sand traps, and that's going to bring you back to the fact that that's where you're at. But they really did a good job not just following the fairways and utilizing that which surrounds the fairways.
Ficus on the tee of 2.
As long as you're inbounds on this first shot, that's really all you need. It's the second shot that's the critical one here.
Allen next.
And it might not be obvious, but the rough grass right in front of the tee is out of bounds, so they do have to pull it off to the right or try to go past the tall grass straight.
Tatar.
Trying to determine what direction that wind's coming from.
Looks like she's going to be looking at a left or right.
Keeping it low to minimize the effects of the wind.
She's a great low line drive thrower, kind of like you actually. Yeah. You're on my list of great low.
I often throw low, sometimes to my detriment, but it does come in handy when there are inclement conditions like this.
Deanne Carey. It should finish safe.
On that, but she is safe. You know, one thing that's interesting, when we were out there on the practice rounds, this was perhaps the windiest course not windy, dustiest course I had ever been on. It was, everything was coated in a fine layer of dust, but now, because of the rain last night, that's not the case at all.
Oh, interesting. Pierce on the tee of 3. That was not good.
That's too tight. That might be in the OB.
Oof.
The OB line on that particular hole is not on the edge. It's actually inside the foliage, so I'm not sure if she found it or not.
Hanley on the TO4, and we have seen some big numbers early on this one, Juliana.
Oh, this is such a tricky hole.
Is she going over the green?
Okay, that's massive.
Oh my gosh.
That is huge. But that's where you need to be if you really want to attack this hole. Not all of the women have that power, though.
That's a nice bonus for Hanley. Should save her some strokes. Back to Pierce, throwing 2. This does not look like an easy up and down.
No, and you can see that there's incline by the basket. It's even a little bit more drastic than it looks from here. The pin is about 70 feet behind those protector trees. She did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Nate is looking windy out there. Looks like it got a hold of Paige's disc. How's it feeling on the ground?
It's pretty miserable here on the ground. It still feels like 38 degrees, and the wind is just continuing to pick up. It's slightly changed directions. Our lead card now has a tailwind left to right as they try and approach this green.
Oh, well, thanks for being out there, Nate. We appreciate you. Back to the fairway we go. Fakis, I believe. Yep.
She can probably see the tip of the flag where the basket is, but otherwise you just have to have a knowledge of where this green lies. That looks like it went directly OB.
Hmm. Is that a function of that kind of that tail when Nate was like it'll make it hyzer out a little early?
Yeah,
maybe?
it hyzered out and it also pushed it down. But I think she was also perhaps being too cautious of the green. You can see the sand trap there and the green. The OB line is actually left of both of those, not on the edge of either of them. And the width of the fairway is approximately 60 feet at the sand trap, and it narrows down to about 40 feet at its skinniest, and it slopes from right to left. So it's a hard place to land.
Carrie, her second. Gets the good flag. Hansen with a birdie putt. You saw the drive. She's that one deep in circle 2. I hope that was close.
Well, she looks like she's a little bit long left. You want to be down on the bottom side, so you're putting up at it. So I think that was kind of a fun shot at it to try to match the terrain there. The key there is you want the disc to land approximately the same angle as the ground so that it doesn't cut roll away.
Tatar's approach on 2. That looked like the shot. Oh, and it was.
Fantastic.
Oh,
again, I'm so impressed by this. I really thought that the women were going to have a harder time with that approach shot because they're taking that tree out of play. I thought it was going to be a higher approach to it, and then the limbs of that tree would be in play.
Here is our Birdie Pro birdie zone as Tatar and Carrie both in the zone. The other two a little bit short of that. And you check out Birdie Pro launching on Kickstarter. Is it out now? I think it is. It is out on Kickstarter. I was right.
So you can see how peculiar the lines of this particular hole are. They really, you want to go out over that green, but then that's where I'm talking. You can see the top of the screen there, the limbs hanging down that I thought were going to cause problems coming into the basket.
Allen throwing 4 after an OB drive, or hazard drive it looked like. She'll have that for 5. Not the start Katrina was hoping for. Speaking of bogey putts, here's Pierce. She did find the OB on the drive, as we saw, and Juliana guessed correctly.
It's kind of a double penalty. Not only did she have the extra stroke, but she still had to make it around that corner. And so that's what she had to put a lot of angle on that disc and ended up back over too far to the left to really have a decent look at putting that putt in.
Ficus. Just a little too inside.
She hit that tree. Yeah, so that was a little bit too high. I think the angle of that shot was nice.
Ella Hansen has a par putt. You saw the approach go a little long. Here's the comebacker.
This is scary. So there is an uphill component to this. So putting the disc on an uphill line with a headwind is very hard to do. Well, hard to make yourself do.
It is, isn't it? So a bogey for Hansen on 3. Takes her back to 1 under. Pierce dropping in double. Back to 2. Deanne. Oh, catching a late limb, a longer putt than she wanted, but makeable. Holland Hanley, after that big drive on 4, here is her second.
Okay, the basket is way down the fairway and then tucked into the left. So the farther down the fairway she can get on this shot, the better.
I believe this hole is averaging a stroke and a half over par today.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
This one's hard. What I am surprised about is that hole number 3 where we just saw Paige double and Ella bogey. That one is, I think, playing is the second most difficult right now.
Wow.
And that is a pretty small hole, 354 feet with a natural hyzer.
Yeah.
So it's the angle at the bat working together to make that very tricky.
Carrie.
I thought that one was in.
It looks so nice.
Right on line, tiny bit too high.
That one could have dropped in too.
It could have.
Yeah. Allen. Looking at a bogey putt. Looks like just outside bullseye though.
This green is somewhat protected. You can see that the flag is barely moving.
And no problem there for the 2-time. Nate, we just saw Katrina make a nice putt after a shaky miss on 1. Any word on her putting out there today?
Yeah, you know, one of the practice baskets is right near the tee of 1, very exposed to the wind. And I noticed that Katrina was practicing a little bit more of a direct spin putt. And then on hole 1's basket, she actually went right back to that pitch. And she continues with the pitch here on 2. So very interesting to note. She's going back to the pitch for the round.
Crazy though, right?
Yeah, the spin putt will fight through the wind better. So here we have hole 3. This is a 354-foot par 3. Players must throw through the gap that is marked by the 2 trees. That's obvious, and that's probably the way that you would want to go anyway. There is out of bounds on both the right-hand side. You can see the stakes, and on the left-hand side, it's just where the trees are, and then it actually goes farther into the rough, so you could be in the rough. There is a right to left slant to this fairway, and it's quite drastic at the basket, and we saw that that really affected Ella's approach shot, and anything far the basket, below the basket is going to be putting into a headwind.
We saw that. Halal guys for dinner? What do you think?
Falafel, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm down. We had it in Vegas. It was awesome. What a cool Look down from the drone at the tee pad.
Yeah, you can see the dichotomy of how you got the open fairways and then often the baskets are tucked into the woods. So you have both the effects of the wind on the outside and then protected from the wind on the inside by many of the pins that we'll see later on today.
Tatar's drive?
That was actually spectacular. She is far enough that she's going to be putting, and she's past the 2 protector trees.
Allen, look at a bounce back from the bogey start. A little tree hit there.
Just a little mac by the tree, but she's not negatively affected by it other than potentially losing a little bit of distance.
Yeah. Should be an easy up and down from there.
Should be, but we
Should
saw
be.
Ella.
Yeah, we just saw Hansen have troubles. You're right. Carey.
Ooh.
Yeah,
she
it was close.
Went quite close to that left tree. That was I think that was a misrelease. Came out of her hand when she didn't think it was going to, a little early.
Probably happens a lot when those fingers are so cold. Ficus.
Oh, that's turning over.
Stays in, though.
She stayed safe. She's going to have a very tricky approach shot. It's going to be significantly longer than she's expecting.
Ella Hansen, tee of 4. And if you can beat this golf green, it is a big advantage.
Another gorgeous, gorgeous shot on this hole.
Loving that. Because if you can't go across the golf green, you have to throw, it's like 250 is the farthest you can throw almost.
230 to 265. Yeah. But you're not around the corner, so then your next shot you have to throw a hyzer just to set up yourself to throw down the fairway.
Hanley ahead on the fairway of 4. Oh, that forehand finds ground very early.
So she is lined up fairly nicely with the opening that we couldn't tell because of the undulations in the terrain.
Pierce, this is wide. I think it's got enough, though. Yeah.
It does. That's a great spot. Yeah, she hated it, but it's a really, really good spot because she's far enough past, or far enough forward that she can still turn and throw basically straight.
Ficus. That's going to be a long putt for 3. Out in circle 2. Looks like a headwind putt as well. Ugh.
Yeah, that's not a desirable location.
Hanley.
Here you can see it's about 170 feet from the outside trees to the basket right here. And it actually looks more open on video than it did when I was playing it myself.
I believe that. Carey throwing 2. Tough approach into this green.
The reverse skip, that was unexpected.
It was.
If that had hit the grass, it probably would have skipped towards the basket. But due to the
slope
roughness
and the wind
of the dirt path right there, she skipped backwards. Yeah, and actually, yeah, you're right. It popped it up, and then the wind got underneath it and pushed it away.
Allen. Short, but still technical here.
Well, yeah, and she also has to keep it down on the ground, though she would want to because of the wind anyway. But we've got that low ceiling right there. And it's a little bit too low. She left herself more than she would want, but should be gettable.
Yeah. Alexis Monduhano on your screen. There she is. Val still sitting out due to the ankle injury. We'll take all the Monduhanos we can get. Gotta look at par. Par's a good score on that one.
Par's a great score in that hole. Even without bad conditions, Par's a very good score in that hole.
We have 0 birdies so far on 4. Ficus for 3.
Oh, she gave it a chance. The wind took it up even higher than she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have a little bit of a downhill putt coming back at it. I'm not sure how far away.
Carey.
Oh, she played that so beautifully. You know, you could see that she was expecting the wind to lift it up, which it did exactly as she wanted, and it hit pretty much exactly where you want it to hit, and then the wind just blew it right out again.
Those are heartbreakers.
It looked like it was in slow motion. Now we see the real slow motion.
It's going to dance on this rim up here.
Such a pretty hit, and just sometimes when they hit the chains and they turn so that it becomes a sail, the wind can push it in or out.
Oh, and the wind pushing that one out for Allen. Also coming a little short on the bid. Looking at bogey, bogey, bogey start for Katrina.
So unexpected. So hole number 3, the second most difficult one today.
I believe it. Fake is, nope, looks like Allen first. No, there's. Somehow finding.
You know, let's give her the credit there. She knew that the wind was pushing things, so she potentially put it on the left-hand side so it would push in.
Oh, there you go. Paige Pierce, after the booming tee shot on 4, throws this for her second. How's she looking, Juliana?
She's looking great. She's on top of a teeing area for the ball golf green, so she's got a flat footing. There are a lot of undulations on that particular fairway, so that's a little bit of an advantage for her next shot.
We saw Hanley get to here. The approach was looking great and caught this last tree.
There's a lot of trees to catch.
There, that's fair. That's a good pole to catch, or the flag to catch, excuse me.
Yeah, there is OB past that. I think it's 30, 40 feet, so it shouldn't come into play, but it's something to keep in mind.
Back on the fairway of the same Hansen, throwing 2.
Oh, the wind knocked that down. Great skip.
Okay. Can she attack the green from there?
I don't know if anybody can attack the green, really attack the green. I think just putting yourself at the opening is the best bet because it's 170 feet to the pin from the opening. So the canopy is too thick to really go over, and especially with a wet ground, you're never going to skip that far in there.
I feel you there. We're going to take a quick break on the Disc Golf Network. Back to the action in just a few.
You know, a lot of people say that Ed was the father of disc golf. Well, that's true. He did invent the basket. But Ed did another wonderful thing, probably his major accomplishment, was being the first person to realize that we had a sport on our hands, not just a toy.
In 1976, Steady Ed Hedrick founded the Professional Disc Golf Association with a dream of turning a flying plastic toy into a global sport. Since then, the PDGA, members, players, event directors, and volunteers have worked to realize that dream. From the very first baskets to courses around the world. And yet, it's only the beginning. We're looking to the horizon with even bigger dreams for tomorrow.
Okay, this is Charger. I heard a lot of good things about the disc. Let's see if they're true, what they say. That was my actual first shot with that disc ever. So I have to say, works pretty okay. So just go now and get yourself one Charger. They are amazing.
Disc golf keeps growing. At the Power Disc Golf Academy, we believe in adding power to the player to level up their game. That's why Paul Ulibarri, a top 50 ranked player, is taking the past 18 years of teaching disc golf and boiling it down into lessons across every subject. From driving, to putting, to drills, to practice, to mental game, and much more, all to give you the power to grow as a player. Grow your game with the Power Disc Golf Academy.
Go long. Whoa.
Hey, over here.
Hello, we're Kenna. We're a Dutch growing company. We love plants and we want to tell you some cool things about them. Just like humans, plants can communicate. They can sense when another plant is close. Plants look out for each other too. They warn neighbors about nearby threats by secreting substances. And studies have shown that plants love a good tune. We love and understand plants. Let our passion excite you too.
Hole 4. Talk about this beast, Juliana.
This is an 888 feet par 5. Players throw over this OB creek. There's a possible landing zone just after the fence and before that green, but it is pretty small. There's an incline back towards the creek. And if you have to land there, you've got this big corner that you still have to make it around. We've been seeing with the tailwind that the women are able to get, most of the women are able to get to the left side of the green, which sets them up nicely to take this big long fairway. Once they do, now they're looking for this gap right here.
Oh,
so it is approximately 170 feet from this road to the pin. It has a low clearance, a low ceiling because of the foliage at the front of the gap, and it's pretty tight, and you can see that we've got protector trees very close to the basket as well. The OB behind the basket is 40 feet long, so you do have to control your shot through there as well.
Ella Hansen. Her third on the 4th. She go in early to the gap?
I believe she's early in the rough. That's not out of bounds, but it's going to be ugly.
Ahead on 5, Hanley. Boom in the forehand. It's wide, but
that's a good space. That's a really good spot to be, because if you're going straight at the basket, you have to go over the green. There is out of bounds behind the basket and surrounding it, though.
Oh.
So her distance got her in trouble there.
Yeah, Holland Hanley problems there. Paige Pierce going to the forehand roller?
That's not a bad choice, though there's a lot of mulch on the ground here, so they're potentially, oh my gosh, she got way down there.
That's fantastic.
I'm very impressed. With a roller, the ground play is hard to predict, and when you've got a lot of mulch and a lot of sticks, a lot of bad things could happen, but she played that great.
There was Fakis. Pitching one up the fairway. Look at those scores, Juliana. This course is playing tough.
Well, this so it's new to everyone, and the conditions today are just going to make it such that par is very good score.
Back on 4, Carey.
So it's a real disadvantage not to be able to get to the left of the green. You can see where they're throwing right now. They just have to basically pitch around the corner and set themselves up so that they can then...
Hansen. We saw the approach go in early. Here's where she finds herself.
Didn't go in as far as I thought.
She's got those, you know, the reach out forehand. Not a problem for this woman.
Still a tough ask here, but at least we can visualize what the disc needs to do. Hopefully she can as well.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was fantastic. I thought it was a little bit too high. I thought it might catch those limbs, but she played that beautifully.
Back down to the fairway we go for Allen.
smart play, keeping it wide. The wider you are, the better angle that you have for that opening. Where they're throwing from, they can't see that opening. There is a dead tree that's maybe 60 feet in front of the opening, so they can sort of know where they need to go, but keeping it wide is very good.
Tatar. Nate, as we're watching this hole 4, talk about the wind they're facing all the way down this fairway. It seems like they're playing in a couple different winds on the same hole.
Yeah, exactly. And as they take that left turn, they are throwing into a direct headwind. And then as they try and approach this low ceiling gap, they've got a strong right to left. And that's exactly why hole 4 is playing as the most difficult hole in the course.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, averaging 6.5 right now.
Wow. Kristen looks like she might be in a position to try to penetrate that gap.
We are live with the 5-time Paige Pierce. That was for birdie. It will be a par. Would have been the first birdie of the day. After that forehand roller, you would have loved to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have probably been surprised if you said that she birdied it in the best conditions.
Yeah.
So to birdie it today would have really been something.
There she is. No problem on that par comeback. Back to the fairway for Vegas. From one Texan to the other.
We heard that Texas has the most FPO players, there are more Texas players on the DGPT tour than any other state. However, Paige is not counted as one of them.
She's Florida now?
Yeah. Though I still think of Paige when I think of Texas.
I know, right? Yeah. That's a nice shot there by Vegas. Should set herself up maybe a little early.
It's hard to tell from here.
Yeah.
I think she's a little early, but not as much as it kind of looked like.
That's what Juliana was just talking about.
Yeah, so here are the top states for the tour card holders. Texas in the lead. Not surprising. California behind. 2 very big states.
Yep. Same with Florida. Then North Carolina kind of sneaking in with all that awesome disc golf in North Carolina.
Well, Charlotte. Everybody's moving to Charlotte. I'm
I
actually
don't
surprised Charlotte doesn't have more than 3.
That's a good point, actually.
Washington. That one's takes me by surprise.
Yeah. One of the Washington tour card holders right here, Ella Hansen. That's a good score on 4. Best we've seen all day. Back to the fairway, Carrie.
Okay, that looks pretty good. You could, from her angle, you could see that dead tree. She's just past it. That's what she needs to be able to try to get into the gap.
Hey, we're watching Deanne have a pretty rough go so far. How's the attitude on the course?
Yeah, after we saw Deanne's putt get blown out of the basket, she actually approached me and she was giggling. She's like, I did everything I could in her little southern accent. So she's in good spirits despite the conditions.
Hey, having a good attitude can't hurt you.
That'll win you fans.
Yeah, that as well. Allen. This has got to be a couple hundred, 250 into the pin maybe? See if she can get it there.
Yeah, I would say at least 250 because she's so far back that didn't even look like it was that tight of a gap.
Yeah.
And it really is a tight gap.
So she's going to have some work left to do. Left side of that wooded fairway over there.
Yeah, I mean, look from here. Look at how much tighter. The canopy is pretty thick.
So the gap's right behind that dead tree?
It's to the right of the dead tree.
Okay.
So it's between the dead tree and the lighter colored green on the right-hand side.
Great perspective from our Flight Factory drone.
When I played this in practice, I did not know that it was tucked in the trees, and I just threw as far as I could on my next shot, past the OB line. straight out along the fairway. So I wasn't sure from shot 2 how easily you could see this gap, because I completely missed it.
You mentioned in your course notes, learn the course. Tatar. Maybe we'll see our first birdie.
I'm very impressed with the potential that she has here. She's got a lot of distance on the first and second shots, putting her in a beautiful position for potentially getting down the fairway.
Oh, caught a little lettuce high, and it put it right into a trunk. So up and down par likely coming there for Tatar. Holland, her third. We saw the OB drive laying up to this elevated pin. That looks nice. Looking down at the gap on 4. Got a couple people at the mouth here. Fakis. Going to reach out a forehand. That was a tough shape.
I think she did about as much as she could have there.
I'm with you. Hansen. T of 5.
Ella has the power to go directly for the green if she wants to, but it is kind of a skinny landing zone, so she's playing the safe side like we saw Holland Hanley do. Can she keep it in bounds?
Yes. Ooh. You can see the circle 2 whisker right there. Should be a up and down for Hansen on 5. Back to 4. Tatar. Throwing 4.
Making that look pretty simple.
Yeah. She saves a lot of stress on the putting green with that upshot game.
Yes, she does.
Paige Pierce. T of 5.
But she also takes a lot of pressure off her putting game by the fact, takes a lot of pressure off her upshot game by the fact that her putting is so good.
There you go. That goes both ways, doesn't it?
It's hard for me to get that out.
That's not bad from Pierce.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
She was aggressive, went right at it.
Back on 4, Katrina. So throwing her 4th to set up the par putt. And that circle's edge just inside.
She was forced to play the skip there, and that's where the mulch comes into play and takes a lot of that skip away.
Still looking for her first par on the day, sitting at 3 over through 3. Holland now on the T of 6. My first look at this one.
This hole is fairly simple, but I don't think we're going to see much scoring here. The angle that they come out of the gap just doesn't allow the players to get very close to the basket.
Hansen on 5. It's a long birdie look, but it's really just a layup for par. It's done well. Back to 4. Got a forehand roller coming.
Is that Deanne?
It is Deanne, thank you. It's out, and now it's back in.
We have seen a lot of forehand rollers on this hole today, and I don't think this is going to be the only hole because there are some roughs around some of the greens that are even more demanding with the tiny little saplings and really not having enough room to fly through.
Fake is taking a stab for par, but she'll be coming back for bogey instead. Carrie walking to her putt. Looks like we might have Allen first, though. Katrina hoping to avoid the bogey.
This is one of those wind-protected greens. Still see the flag moving, but not nearly as much as it was on the previous holes. didn't look as smooth as we normally see her stroke.
And Deanne. Casting that double bogey bid wide, unfortunately.
There's a tree right to her right. I'm not sure if that made her stagger a little bit more off to the left and change the line of her arm movement.
There is Fakis putting in the bogey, but triple bogey, not even the worst score we've seen on this whole. There's a 10, 3 9s, a bunch of 8s. We won't shame anybody, but it happened. Carry for triple.
There, that was much better.
It was. So Alan and Carey still chasing their first pars on the day, playing bogey golf on this tough day. Cat, no time on that bogey drop in. Tatar with the par. Paige Pierce with a birdie look. He saw the drive on 5.
There is OB behind that. And it does slope down, but I think she stayed safe.
There's a little bit of work coming back. Now Hanley on 6. Yeah, this is you were not wrong on this.
Yeah,
This is a tough get.
It's very hard to turn it in enough. And if somebody tries to overpower it, they'll probably find themselves in the rough long.
Paige Pierce. Oh, this did get a little ways coming back for par.
Well, this is one of those cases where the undulations are used deviously, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then add the raised basket. She's got quite a bit of an uphill component to this putt, but no problem.
There she is. That's a good Paige Pierce putt right there. So let's fly this hole 5. Walk us through the challenges, Juliana.
Sure. This is a 355-foot par 3. There's a very slight uphill component to the fairway. You can see that we've got 3 different sand traps that all play as hazards, and the green is the most prominent difficulty, the OB. So there is a landing zone off to the left that's a little short of the complete distance, and there's a landing zone that's much shorter distance off to the right. I'm not going to expect to see too many people. We saw Paige go for it right there, go directly towards the basket. Because of the OB long, it's hard to control your distance and to get it to land right there. So I think we're going to see a lot of people going for par here.
So if you're out there playing this one today, you running the green, or you taking
No
this
way.
one for 3?
No. No, I'm playing on the left-hand side. And I like the left-hand side better as well, because if you go short right-hand side, then you have to play over the top of one of those sand traps. And you can kind of tell that there's a little berm there, so you have to make sure that you get it high enough that it doesn't catch the rim of that sand trap.
Tatar.
Does she have enough to get off the green and stay off the green?
She does, just
that
barely.
was cutting it close.
It sure was. Easy up and down coming now, though. Allen. Beautiful shot from our Flight Factory drone there. That was too cool.
Now that's the exact location that I would expect the girls to try to land in, right there on the left-hand side.
Fakis.
Taking the shorter right-hand side. It's a easy shot. Well, I should say it's slightly easier to get there because you can see the entire area from the tee. It just makes the second shot a little bit more difficult.
Hansen on the tee of 6.
Ella putting some height on that, hoping to pull it farther left.
God, this feels like almost an impossible shot shape.
Yeah, I really don't think that there's going to be... The only way that I think there's going to be scoring on this hole is if people go backwards by going too far and getting into the rough that has all of those tiny little saplings.
Holland Hanley, tee of 7.
Now this one, on the other hand, I think we're going to have a bunch of birdies on.
I want Holland's forehand when I grow up. Gosh, look at that thing. Paige Pierce, back on 6.
Also getting it very high, hoping to pull it over to the left.
That feels like about as good as he can do almost. Maybe a little more.
I don't know the wind relative to that hole. Those shots are actually a little bit farther away than I expected them to be, so I think the wind's knocking them down and keeping them out to the right even farther. But it really doesn't matter because it's just an approach. Even the best shots, it's probably still going to be just an approach or maybe a look at a throw-in, but not a putt.
Looking down at the green of 5. As your feature card approaches there lies. Everyone's safe. Fakest towards the bottom right. Oh, so Carrie. Oh, Carrie was not safe. She did find the OB on her drive, as you can see. Be throwing 3. Looking for the up and down bogey now. Hansen. Her second. Oh my.
That's exactly what you want to do. Look at how close those trees are
Yeah.
to the basket. So you really need to try to get that approach under the pin so that you know that you have a clean shot to the basket.
And that's just what Fakest did there back on 5. She'll drop in 3. Tatar, a long look at 2. It's a layup for 3. See if Allen gets aggressive. A little closer, but still circle 2.
I don't think she's even quite in circle 2. Well, she might be. No, actually, yeah, I believe she is. But I doubt she's going to get this high enough to give it a chance.
She's a smart woman.
Well, she's been bitten a couple times on the green today,
Yep.
and the wind continues to howl, so she's going to minimize the damage.
Holland Hanley with a birdie look. That's on hole 7. You saw the drive.
Love the effort at staying balanced there, though she really didn't need to because she was in circle 2.
Better safe than sorry, I guess. Katrina for her first par on the day. Fires that one into the chains nicely. I always worry about pitch putts on elevated pins.
Oh, yeah, for good reason. Yeah.
Carey gets the bogey home. We'll have 2 par drop-ins. Sorry, that's a par for Fakest and a par for Tatar. Paige Pierce. That's very well done. Let's take a look at our scores here. Is this kind of how you thought the course would be playing based on your practice round, or is this conditions?
I think this is mostly conditions. I think if we get less wind later on in the weekend, we'll see much better scores. But for today, 1 under through 6, that's very, very good. And I'm not surprised that we have Ella and Kristen at top. Very happy to see Evelina up there as well. Erica, nice. That's a bit of a surprise to see Erica in the top 5. Wonderful. Allie as well. A couple of names that we don't often talk about. So
here is your current conditions. Thanks to our friends at Canada. Still cold, still windy.
21
Evelina,
miles an hour.
she has a 100-foot throw-in today. Perk, has it gotten any warmer, any less gusty out there? How you feeling, sir?
Yeah, the sun just started to poke through the clouds a bit. It's warming up, but the wind is certainly not letting up here.
Oh, no. Appreciate the update, though. Evelina's still not putting especially. She's only 40% C1X today, but she is scoring. Just one off the lead. It's impressive.
Well, you know, if your approaches are close enough, your C1X or your putting stats are not going to be good.
That's a great point. She only has 3 misses inside the circle. Yeah. Tatar on 6.
Oh, she does take a tighter line. That's fine. That's 6 of one, half dozen of the other on this hole. It really doesn't matter. The only danger that I see is trying too hard and throwing too far, because if you land in, I mean, just look at left of Katrina. That's the kind of rough that there is long of the basket. And if you find yourself in that, you're probably going to have a hard time saving your par.
Hang on, just fine there from Katrina Allen.
Yep.
Should see the basket. There you go. Facus.
Interesting lineup. The way that she ran up on that tee pad, she came from a significant angle.
And it settles in the fairway nicely. I was watching the Ezra and Brody practice round last night. I think they call some of these holes dink dunk holes. You know, you're not playing for birdie. You just dink it out there, dunk it in.
Sure. Yeah, this is definitely one of those. You don't expect a birdie on this hole for sure.
Deanne Carey. Carey in the fairway safely. Ella Hansen on the tee of 7, still your leader. Overturned.
A little bit of a missed opportunity. She definitely has the power to birdie this hole.
Ahead on 8, Holland Hanley. Ooh, is that going to coast enough? No.
No, that is going to be left. Probably because of the height, it's going to be short, and that's good. She wants it to be short if she's going to be on the left side, because then she's out in the open and can still approach.
That's a really interesting green on 8, isn't it?
It is. There are quite a few greens out here where there's only one direction in which you really can safely see the basket, and that is definitely one of them.
There's Pierce's drive. Should have a bunch of up shots coming up for you here on 6. Deanne Carey's second.
Good shot, but on this green, even though she's 18 feet from the pin, I'm not sure if she's going to have a direct line at it. She might have to straddle out.
Facus going to the forehand play. Caught something on the way in there.
Didn't have the best line on that one.
Hansen, you saw the drive. Here's the approach. Step outside bullseye shouldn't be a problem. Back to 6 for Allen, throwing 2.
Looks like she very consciously left that short so that she didn't have to deal with the saplings.
Good pickup. Tatar. Every time she throws a forehand approach shot, it is parked. It is unbelievable.
I love watching her throw her sidearm approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not only, other than hole 1, that might be the first time that I've seen her not basically pin the shot.
Holland Hanley. A long look for birdie on 8. Strong bid, but not to be. Fakis. Save her par after the late tree hit on the approach. Fakis one of the best putters in the world, and she's feeling it.
She is, that's for sure. I was hoping we'd see a little bit of it right there.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Better angle than that.
Well, she hasn't gotten behind the disc yet, but I think she does have a line to it. I appreciate the camera effort to get behind there so we can see, yes,
Yeah.
she's got a line to the basket.
There we go. Carrie, I believe that is her first par of the day. Yes, it is. Katrina. For back-to-back pars after the rough start.
That was a smoother motion that we saw on her previous misses, so hopefully she's feeling it again on the putt.
Fakis. Bogey comeback. No worries on that one. And Tatar will drop in par. Back to Pierce.
This is hole 7. Ooh, the wind played with that one. She still almost made it in.
Thought she had it. Maria Oliva for birdie. If you can make a putt from that kind of straddle, I'm impressed.
Utilizing those long legs.
Yeah, seriously. Hansen.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Ella keeping it under, the only one on the course that can say that right now. Oh, never mind. Evelina. Holland Hanley. It's a par putt, and she finds the bottom of the bucket. I mentioned Evelina. She is, after that birdie on 12, tied for the lead. We are sending a camera right now. We'll have some solid footage for you shortly. Love that. Looking down at 7 here, Juliana?
Yes, we are. This is a very gettable hole, though I'm guessing that the wind is maybe in their faces because we have seen the girls have a hard time get that far, and in practice this was pretty easy to reach. It's only 340 feet. It's slightly uphill. You can see that there's sand traps on the left. They play as hazards.
Katrina Allen next up. Just going to the turnover or the flex. Huh.
I see she's inside of circle 2 there.
Keeping it short of those hazards. Carrie next to tee. Live look down from our Flight Factory drone. That's similar to the Hansen pull. An overturn to a cut roll.
Yeah, which makes me think that they've got a little bit of a headwind to deal with. It's turning them over faster than they anticipate.
Fakis.
I like that line. If that's strong enough to come back out, she's in good shape.
Oh, yeah. That's Fakis range right there.
It really is, yes.
Ella Hansen. On a tee of 8.
Yeah, just enough.
Oh, this might work.
She's close enough for a very easy par. She might be able to straddle out and take a shot at the putt there.
Pierce next up. Going something slow there. 330-foot hole. That's at most a mid. Oh, that looked like a nice kick out of the trees.
Anything past the trees is fine, but yeah, if it gets caught and pulled back in, then at least add a stroke.
Weiss.
I
Trying
like
to bend that
line.
over. Oh my.
Very well played. That's somebody who knows her discs well. She put that on hyzer, let it flip up flat. It faded just a little bit to the right and then came back to the left. Beautifully, beautifully done.
Deanne approaching for par and finding the one she needed to beat, unfortunately. Left on circle's edge to save 3.
That first tree that you, or first sand trap that you see Katrina walking past right now, that's about 70 feet to the pin from there.
Here is Katrina's long birdie look. Her first on the day if it goes in.
I like that bit. She got it up in the air high enough. The wind didn't mess with it too much. It was close.
Ella Hansen, you saw the drive. Here's her second. Easy 3. Facus from hopefully Facus range. Ah.
Fell off a little early.
Tatar. Can she grab a birdie from circle 2?
Conservative bid.
Back to Pierce. Early tree hit on 8, just looking for the up and down, but
It looked like it might hit that protector tree.
yeah.
Though that protector tree is pretty close, so she still should be in decent shape.
Carry for par, that one's not going to happen. Another bogey coming for Deanne, unfortunately. Here's Pierce's par putt.
Ooh, a little high. She was nervous about that one, so was I.
Just that one blemish on the Pierce card today. Otherwise, pars all around. Carey, unfortunately, adding another blemish, though, here. But thankfully, a small blemish, just a single bogey.
That's a frustrating hole to bogey, though, because there's really nothing in your way. And again, in practice, that was a pretty straightforward, simple hole, and clearly did not play as easy today with the wind.
Facus for par. There she is. Allen. No problem for Katrina. Tatar. We'll do the same for her par. Weiss for birdie. You saw the drive. How about that? One more look at this awesome drive. This patented Heiser flip flex out of Jay Weezy.
How fun is it that we patent one of her backhand shots
Right?
instead of one of her sidearm shots?
She's so good on both sides.
She really is.
Why didn't you tee off first, Jess, and show us that line? I love that. Huge thanks to our friends at Sunstein, home of winning intellectual property. Patent, trademark, NFT, copyright needs, they've got you. SunsteinLaw.com. Huge supporters of disc golf. Love all these beautiful scenics we got out of the Austin area. Shout out to my man Tom Rapp for all those. Doing fantastic work out there. The big throwers, Juliana. You know?
Yeah, I didn't think that this course was necessarily going to distribute the scores based on strength, but with the wind, that becomes more important as well.
Mm-hmm.
Katrina, 3 Diane, 4 ahead of 3.
Ahead on 9, Jessica Weiss. Production has a great nickname for Jessica Weiss, the Swiss Army knife. She's got it. She's got all the tools, you know.
That was a very similar shot to the last hole where she puts just the perfect amount of hyzer on it, has it flip up and fades back into the basket. Beautiful.
Nicely done. It's good. A bit of a headwind putt, though. Nate, what are our players dealing with wind-wise on this one?
Yeah, so the tee of hole 8 is pretty protected, but as the disc finds the gap, it is just hitting a direct headwind, and you're correct, Kristen is left with about a circle's edge headwind putt. It's still ripping out here, Ian.
Yeah, it sure is. Thank you, Nate. Allen finishing way left.
One thing that's interesting about this is that your conditions at the tee are significantly different than the conditions in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
So it's hard to convince yourself to throw for what's out there versus what's right in front of you.
Fake is doing some quick tee pad maintenance. There's no OB to worry about on this one, though, so it should be just an up and down par from there. Ella Hansen.
Little low. There is a mando tree on the right-hand side, so the women do have to throw the straight up the gut shot. They cannot throw a hyzer out and around.
Pierce. Flirting with that mando tree. Oh my goodness.
Wow. I thought we were going to hit some metal there.
That looks so close.
Very good shot.
Oh, we've caught up with Evelina.
I think this is hole 14.
Let's see where she is. That was a birdie look on 14, correct? Oh, no, that was a par look. Quick update. She will be dropping in bogey. Dropping back to even now, thanks to that. Still just one off the lead, along with the tar there. Rebecca Cox having a day. We haven't said her name yet.
And look at all those twos. Everybody tied for fifth behind him.
Hansen on 9. Birdie look. She really developed a nice stepper lately, the last couple of years. Well,
yeah, she's got a lot of power. Without looking like she's putting a lot of power behind it.
And glancing off the chains just a little too high on the left to find home. And back to Allen. Short and left of the pin on 8. And this is another one she's going to want to leave short.
Yes, but you know, you can see that it's protected, but it's not nearly as drastic as some of the other holes. I think, well, she wants to be closer than that, but this one, no matter where you're at, within circle 1, you're probably going to be able to straddle and get a line to the basket. But that is definitely not the case in some of the ones coming up.
Is Deanne over here? Yeah, it looks like it. Ooh, she yanked it right. And we've got this thick Texas rough. It's often thorny too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's angry.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that camera work. That was incredible.
That was a great out. You could see that it hit some foliage on its way out, but she put enough power on it to be able to fight its way through.
Paige Pierce.
This is for birdie.
After the almost one.
Wonderful shot.
Now just 2 off the lead is Pierce. Tatar. Birdie look. She is now 1 down on the round, share of the lead. We traded a Finn for an Estonian there in the co-leader. Allen. There's Katrina saving par. Carey for 3. Good putt.
It's a good par save for Carey.
It was. Weiss. That's back-to-back birdies for Jessica Weiss. 2 off the lead. In the mix, Evelina after the bogey on 15 now.
Perhaps the most fun tee shot in the whole course.
Gosh, I love watching her throw. It is so powerful.
She's way off to the left on that one, but it should be just fine.
Mm-hmm. There are your scores. It's Tatar earning a share of the lead. And it is so tight. Just 3 strokes. Separating our entire top 10.
And as we thought at the beginning of the day, par is a very good score.
Sure is. We are going to fly this hole 9. Walk us through.
This is a 315-foot par 3. It's perfectly flat. It's lined by rough on the left, but no OB. The players need to stay left of this tree that you can see on the right-hand side. So as I said earlier, there's no hyzering out around that. The gap, there is a gap on in the left in the foliage right behind the 2 protector trees. So if somebody hyzers out, they'll still have a pretty open look at the basket. Those 2 protector trees that Kristen just ended up behind, they're about 260 feet from the tee, so outside of circle 2.
Katrina next on the box. That was that miss you were talking about, right?
Yep, she found the opening, so she's not really in any trouble.
Vegas.
Boy, she flew very close to that out of over the mandatory on the right-hand side.
But as a result, finds herself in the circle with a birdie look. Evelina second on 15. You saw the drive. Gosh, is she almost pin high left?
No, from the angle, she's actually short.
Okay.
Short left. But that was a fine place to be.
And then head to the pro shop. March Madness. The more you spend, the more you save. Dang, those are some deals. There's the QR code right there. Just point your phone at it, open the website, start shopping. Your feature card making their way down the fairway. They're almost to that Mando tree. They've done such a great job with this course. Like you said, it doesn't feel like a ball golf course.
No, it really doesn't. And it was fun to play. I quite enjoyed it, and I found that there was a lot of variety on the course as well, which is hard to do sometimes on a ball golf course.
So the first of our upshots coming up shortly. Carry. That will get the job done.
For a little bit of perspective, the parking lot and where all of the campers are is just to the right of this hole. So often the practice rounds, people would come out and they would start on hole 9 right here and then play through and finish on hole 8 and walk back to the parking lot.
Tatar from Circle 2's edge chooses just to lay up for par. Allen with a birdie look. Looked a little fluttery out of her hand.
Well, that was reminiscent of some of the putts earlier in the round where it looks a little, just not smooth.
Yeah.
You know, just, I don't know mechanically what's going on there, but visually just not smooth.
We're going to take a quick break on the Disc Golf Network. We'll be back to the action in just a few.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines that NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make different so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
Hammes needs to get something going. And in, Adam Hammes! Hole in one! Incredible!
Why disc golf? It's the people. It's fun.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or two.
And let it fly with Lonestar disc.
Hey, Jonathan, catch. Huh?
Jonathan, we're getting an anomalous critical failure on your suit. Could you please confirm status?
Sorry, man.
Are you sick and tired of browsing through countless online stores for your disc golf equipment only to come up empty-handed? Look no farther. At 1010 Discs, we have a vast selection with pictures of each disc so you can find the exact one you need. We offer a wide variety of top quality brands at affordable prices, including discs, bags, accessories, and much more.
It's always so exciting when we get new plastics of the Passion, but I always end up falling back on the stock ones. And I like to say its closest counterpart is the Buzz. I think my absolute favorite way to throw it is dead straight and just watch the beauty of a straight flight. They become a staple in the Discraft lineup and also in people's bags, and to know that people everywhere are enjoying the Passion as much as I am. That's just really exciting for me.
I just think the plastic is very premium. It's a high quality material. The way the disc feels in my hand.
I think it's the quality of plastic.
It's unlike any other plastic that you'll find in the industry.
The quality is better than any other company out there.
Again, just consistent plastic. It's something I can consistently trust on every single throw.
There's so many discs to choose from, and I guarantee if you tried every disc in the lineup, you're gonna wanna put multiple discs in your bag.
It's extremely high quality. You can only say so much, they have to eventually just try it themselves and see.
Welcome back to the action. We just saw Hansen miss a putt. Here is Weiss, hoping for a better outcome. Wow. Jessica Weiss almost carting a turkey. Inches off. Just 2 off the lead. Paige Pierce, also 2 off the lead. This putt will keep her there.
Whew, that was a little high as well, but dead center in the chains.
Bunch of tap-ins coming from the rest of the gang. Hokum first. That's a birdie for Hokum. You saw it in the PIP. And last drop in there from Weiss. One more look at this Hokum drive. That's how you do it.
I think that's the easiest way to do it on this hole, or the most highest percentage way to do it.
Yeah, and Sarah just 3 over on the day. On 16, we have Salonen.
This is such an interesting and unique hole.
What are we doing here, Juliana?
Well, the bowl is all out of bounds. The only safe zone is off to the right, where those trees are. It's hard to tell where Evelina was right now. We're taking a look at the walk that the players have to make all the way to hole number 10. We're actually looking at off to the left is the tee. This is the tee for 11, not for 10. So the green for 10 is up right there. We can see it just at the top of the screen. So players have to make a long walk to the corner of the property and then play back to that green in front of the pair of people right of the ball golf green.
It's a beautiful piece of property. Nice rolling hills. Evelina did find the OB, now headed to the drop zone.
This drop zone, I like this drop zone. It is about 330 feet from the pin. There are protector trees, but it is reachable, especially for Evelina, who has ultimate power and fantastic precision. Oh, that's low. That needs some help. I do not know if that's safe or not.
Let's take a peek at the map here, see if we can figure it out. I think that's gonna be OB.
That is a big error on her part because she easily has enough power to get over that out of bounds.
And she is apparently re-throwing from the DZ. So throwing 5 now.
That's a very unfortunate mistake by Evelina.
That's the shot.
Yes, that's what I expected.
Oh, almost skips it in. Oh, not coming up short twice, is she?
There is out of bounds behind it as well. I mean, maybe she was worried about that, but...
Oh. Tatar, back on the tee of 10, your co-leader.
This entire overgrown area is out of bounds, and Tatar is taking the same route that was very successful for Sarah Hokum.
And almost finding chains off the tee. Flying right over the pin.
That's the route I like as well. It works for a backhand. Also, there is, from the tee, it looks like it's a very straightforward hyzer shot, but there's a protector tree that has a tendency to knock everything down as it comes around. Well, there, the wind knocked it down before it got to the protector trees. So that should be an easy par. She's actually pretty close, but not a chance to get as close to the pin as going straight up the middle.
Nay, we just saw that Katrina Allen disc get knocked out of the sky. What are they working with wind-wise out here on 10?
Yeah, it's a direct tailwind here on 10, and with the basket being blind, it's really tough to gauge the distance and just exactly how much that wind is really going to drop your disc.
Yeah, we just saw those from Fakis and Allen, just no movement on the finish.
But it is a very safe route because you're not going to accidentally clip a limb and fall into the out of bounds.
Carry. Did that catch that top of that log right there?
I could believe that it did. It looked like it did something a little bit weird.
Yeah. And if you're watching on YouTube today, consider subscribing to the Disc Golf Network. Tons and tons of disc golf coming your way this year. And we're hitting the season right now. Almost every week there is disc golf action happening. Nate, did you see that disc come in there from Deanne?
Yeah, I did. It looked like it did bounce off that log a bit, Ian. I think you were right there.
Wild. Unfortunate finish to a nice throw. Yeah, even the Silver Series are live this year.
All 3 days.
All 3 days. This is awesome. We got one coming up next week. Out in Houston, I believe. Texas States. That will be on Central Coast Disc Golf if you'd like to watch it on the post-produced side. Shameless plug.
Here are the big protector trees in the right hand, upper right hand of the screen. Those are the ones that capture many of the hyzers coming in around that out of bounds.
Fun fact, Nate Perkins will be doing commentary for Central Coast Disc Golf at Texas States.
Are you going to take his part in the on the course?
Not quite. I'm finally taking a vacation with the fam. Deanne Carey for birdie. That should drop in no problem.
You can see the path from this view behind the basket. That is an OB line.
Oh, it's not that far off.
No, it's not. It's inside the circle by just a little bit.
Katrina Allen's birdie putt from shallow circle 2 as Disc Golf Network's AJ Risley looks on. Everything but in.
See the hand motion she made after that. Looks as if she thinks she didn't get enough pop on that. Didn't get it quite up quite enough.
Tatar. It is a birdie look, and this for the solo lead. A little bit low. We'll leave a no stress par.
You know, really every shot of Kristen's looks no stress.
Yeah. Vegas slings home the par. They are dropping those in. We'll sneak ahead to Jessica Weiss. She's on hole 11. Jessica Weiss has gotten 2 of her last 3 and almost made it 3 for 3. She'll have a look from circle 2 here to make it 3 for 4.
This is one of those greens that is extremely protected by small saplings. You do not want to go long on this. You do not want to go pin high on this. You want to keep it short and right in front of the basket.
Pierce following those lines. Oh, that was a good kick, wasn't it?
Well, she might be able to sneak one through there.
Yeah, looked like she might have an alley. And Nate, we just saw Jessica Weiss lose the jacket. You warming up out there a little bit?
Hey, we've got blue skies for the next couple of hours. The sun is out, and it seems like the wind has started to let up. So much better than it was when we started the round, Ian.
We'll take it, Nate. Thank you, sir. Evelina for double.
Oh, what a putt.
What an effort to save. It will be unfortunate triple, though, for Evelina. And she is off your leaderboard? Whoa, that happened fast. It is tight out here in Texas.
I'm anxious to talk about the hole when we get there because it is very unique.
It definitely has some challenges. Owen Scoggins, keeping it rolling. Not the biggest arm, but still making it work.
This isn't the biggest course.
Yeah.
You know, as far as golf courses go, ball golf courses, disc golf on ball golf course, it's actually somewhat short compared to what you might expect.
Yeah, I'm with you. Weiss for birdie.
Oh my gosh.
Get it.
Great
Jessica
shot.
Weiss. Let's roll back a Zuka replay of this putt from Weiss.
She had a canopy. She had to keep that low, so she needed to have a lot of forward projection, which she did. That was beautiful.
She is just one off the lead now. Hansen for the solo lead from circle 2. Is that just a ripping tailwind knocking that out of the sky?
Maybe. It really didn't look like she put much on that, like she wasn't actually trying to go for it. I don't know. Maybe she was worried that a miss would end up in the small saplings and result in 3-putt. I'm not sure.
I bet you're right on that guess. Here's Pierce putting for 2. She's got an alley to the bucket.
That's all she needs.
Give her an inch, she'll take a mile. Paige Pierce, thanks to that birdie, just one off the lead. Tied with Jessica Weiss. Sarah Hokum. This is a par putt for Sarah.
Little left side, but in.
The Hansen par. Jessica Weiss on a roll. 3 of the last 4, and these are some good gets. Oh, this drive.
Such beautiful control on that drive.
Chef's kiss there. A nice spicy stretch out of Jessica Weiss, Halal Guys style.
Very similar shot shape to the last hole.
It was, wasn't it? What a make from circle 2. And that is kind of a scary putt to run with all those saplings long.
It's kind of a hard putt to run because you also have that bit of a ceiling because of the overhang branches.
Tatar, T of 11. To circle's edge.
Very good position to be in.
Yeah, about the same angle Jessica just hit her putt from.
But even a little bit closer.
Oh, yeah. Katrina. Kat still chasing her first birdie on the day. The extra wide gap.
That's probably the largest gap, the extra wide.
Okay.
Right. So it's not unusual at all to go that way. And then you can kind of control the distance you want it to hyzer back to try to stay in front of the basket. So that's a very good option.
Fakis next up.
She almost looks like she's going up the gut. No, that was the second on the right-hand side. That's actually the gap that I used when I was playing this hole.
She'll have a circle 2 look. Carrie next. And Carrie will be, looks like a fairway for her birdie bid. Welcome to the booth in Austin. What do you make of our first lap around this track?
Well, the course is playing pretty difficult today, but Jessica's showing us that there are birdies out there, and I think that many of the girls are just trying to be conservative in this cold, windy weather, and once it warms up, hopefully, tomorrow or the following day, then we'll see many more people on birdie tears like Jessica today.
What did you think like good scores would be on like a nice weather day out here?
I thought maybe we'd get 5 or 6 under.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell because playing in a tournament is so much different than playing practice rounds and throwing multiple shots. So when we haven't seen that happen yet, it's hard to imagine what it might be.
What is going on here, Juliana?
Okay, this is hole 12. This is not out of bounds. There is one wall that is, but it's off to the left and a little bit shorter. So this is just a big annoyance as far as your stance goes, but no penalty shots here. Watch your hand on the back of the tree, though.
Oh, yeah. It looked like more or less the idea.
Yeah, you can,
if
you know where to look, you can see the flag. Yeah. So you have to clear the ball green and hopefully not go too long because that basket is surrounded by out of bounds.
There was Fakis back on 11 pitching out for par. We'll see how aggressive Katrina gets with her look. Should give this a run, no?
Well, remember, her long putts usually have a big up and down component, and she's got a little bit of a ceiling, so she's going to have to push it more forward than up, and that's not what she's used to, although it looks like she's got a little bit higher ceiling than from where Jessica was.
Oh, the cat can't catch the birdie, unfortunately. She'll be coming back for par. Here's your second feature card. They are waiting on the hole 12 fairway to clear. This card is playing very well right now. First, third, and Sarah's in 11th, I believe. Yep. Tatar for birdie. Again for the solo lead.
Oh, that's a couple that we've seen her just low, right on line, just a little bit low.
Allen and Fakis, a little work left on their comebackers, but hopefully not too much. No worries for Allen. Should be the same result for Fakis. Casual there. And they are making their way to hole 12, where there is a backup. So it is break time on the network. Back in just a few.
For over 2 decades, First Tee has created experiences that build character. We believe every kid deserves to feel supported, safe to try something new, and to be prepared for what comes next. We develop their swing, but more importantly, their inner strength. Because we know what's inside doesn't just count, it changes the game. Come join us at First Tee.
Get ready, Tennessee. OTB Tour Series Skins is coming to town, and you don't want to miss it. We got a card of heavy hitters, so come join us in Nashville on April 6th. Check out dgpt.com for tickets, and we'll see you out on the course.
Hi, I'm Steve Owen with Top Gun Mortgage, proud sponsor of the 2023 Open at Austin. Top Gun Mortgage is a full-service lender handling all things residential and commercial. So give us a call, 512-879-3335, or topgunmortgage.com. Let's start a conversation.
Hi guys, Ricky Wysocki here. We are starting the Saki Bomb Foundation. The main goal for me is to really give back to the sport, start kids from a young age, and expose them to the great sport of disc golf that we all love. We got a website going, sakibombfoundation.org. There's lots of different things you can do on the website. I've heard the older generation of disc golfers saying, I wish I would have started disc golf when I was younger, and now I'm able to start these kids off at a young age through my foundation. It really means a lot to me, and it means a lot for the sport. To donate and go to the website, sakibombfoundation.org.
My name is Garrett Gerthy, also known as Double G, and I'm the founder of Double G Craft Jerky.
Double G Craft Jerky is an awesome snack when you have a hankering on the course. You need a little something to pick you up out there so you can really get after a drive or finish on a putt and capitalize.
When you're playing a disc golf round and you're hungry and you don't have a snack on the course, you start to lose focus, you start thinking about what am I going to eat for dinner. With Double G Craft Jerky, that's not a problem.
Why disc golf? It's the people. It's fun.
It's being in nature.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
It's different.
It's the challenge. It's the throws.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or two. And let it fly with Lonestar disc.
Welcome back to Austin. Holland Hanley on 13's tee. What's our play here, Juliana?
Forehand, backhand, doesn't matter. This one is, you can't tell, but there's actually a significant uphill component to this fairway. And there's a green on the right that is invisible.
Oh.
But everybody should have enough power to get over it.
Jessica Weiss on hole 12.
The rock wall in front of her is OB, the one that it's not a circle. That's the only one on this fairway that is out of bounds.
Oh, what a shot.
That was amazing. So she had to stay low to because of the trees right in front of her, but then she also had to make sure she put enough power on it to get past that green, which is out of bounds. That was a very technical, much more technical than it looks.
Yeah,
she almost got a little bit of an air bounce there. She's got to be really low right here. And now, see, it's going to rise a little bit to make sure that she's got enough power and enough height to get over that green.
Imagine trying to throw a backhand from that spot, you know?
Well, that's exactly what I would do.
I know, but it wouldn't get there, I wouldn't think, you know? That's such a tool to have. She's the Swiss Army knife. Ella Hansen.
That's a good shot. Players also have to worry about the out of bounds surrounding this pin. It's pretty close on all three sides. There's a little bit more space on the left-hand side of the basket than behind it or to the right.
Come out and watch the Pro Tour in person. It is so fun to see. You meet all your favorite pros and watch disc fly in person. It's different.
Yeah, it really is beautiful watching the disc fly.
Isn't it? I still remember going to my first pro tournament and being like, wow. So that's what these guys can do. Paige Pierce. The angle a problem here, Juliana, or she can make this work?
The footing's more of a problem than the angle.
Okay.
She would be able to bend it around there if she wasn't concerned about her footing. I think she's still going to be okay.
Actually, he was going to throw a forehand, now going to a turnover.
Oh.
Huh. And Nate, we are looking at these tee pads. You got any intel on that? Shit. Nate, we're looking at some muddy tee pads. we saw, was it Fakis doing some maintenance earlier?
Right, she had the broom on one of the earlier tee pads.
Yeah, the mud down here in this part of Texas definitely has some clay in it. And with the half-inch of rain that we got last night, it is caking up bad on the shoes, and it's starting to get pretty bad on all the turf tees now.
Oh, I can see that. Thank you, Nate. Women waiting for the backup to clear. Trying to stay warm. Ahead, Hokum.
We just saw Paige with a putter laying up short of that green. I because of the historical aggressiveness of Paige's game, I'm always, I don't know, almost delighted when I see her do that because it shows a little bit level of a maturity, and she's willing to take the par instead of trying to push it and maybe get in trouble.
A couple years ago, I think she was the most aggressive player on tour, either gender.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Here she is, now throwing three. It's in there somewhere. They've got her putting for par.
It is a par 4.
Oh, there you go. In circle 1 even. Back to the tee we go, to Tar.
The key here is to get far enough that you can make that 80-degree turn to the right and throw straight at the basket. And it looks like Kristen has done that nicely. Then you also want to get lucky and not be right up against one of those rock walls like Paige had to deal with on her second shot.
Katrina next up. This is boomed.
I think she'll be able to curve around the corner. She's a little tight on the right-hand side, but it opens up pretty nicely.
Fakis. What do you think about that one?
I was expecting to see it drop. I was expecting it to hit those trees and just fall straight down. There's definitely a ceiling on this hole, and she was well above it.
Carrie.
Yeah, even that shot, which was pretty low, hit
hit
one of those limbs and fell straight down. So Deanne is not going to be able to turn and go towards the basket. She's going to have to lay up in front of the green.
Yeah, I feel like the case maybe for those last two. Ella Hansen with a birdie putt for the solo lead.
Such a beautiful putt, so smooth, love that.
Back to 2 down on the day, back to the solo lead. Oliva for birdie on 13. Oh, confident bid, but missing right. Weiss. An honest effort.
That was Jessica's birdie putt as well.
Thank you. Oliva coming back for par. Nice make there. Pierce.
For par. See, the conservative play worked out well for her there. She laid up shy of the green, and she had a very simple par putt.
Deanne Carey also laying up short of the green smartly.
Yeah, she really had no choice.
Yeah. Holland Hanley.
This is hole 14. This is a very tricky hole. It is surrounded by out of bounds. I think she might have actually gone long. I'm not sure.
Okay. Fakis back on 12. Also laying up short of the golf green. It's well done. Hansen on 13. This is a good Ella hole.
Ella has the power to get there.
And even to get there on a hyzer? Oh, missing left though.
Might have gotten that a little bit too high. Lost her line.
Back to 12 for Tatar throwing 2. I think she likes that.
Yeah. Very nice line. A little short. but it's hard to judge this one because the ground by the pin is obstructed from the mound of the golf green.
Paige Pierce, 13.
Oh, that was going to be right under the pin.
That
She's
was-
still got a birdie look at it, but boy, that was going to be great.
And back to 12 for Katrina. A fantastic drive, throwing 2. And
Very good
sinks that.
shot. I think she was expecting a little bit more skip that would have put it even closer to the pin, but she's still in a great position.
Jessica Weiss, T of 13. Circle 2. A long look for birdie coming up for Jessica. Here we are, the 2 layup shots just short of the golf green. They'll be pitching across for the up and down. Fakis, first with those. Circle's edge.
Yeah, a little bit outside of circle.
Carey, next with the 3rd shots.
Again, because of that mound, it's taking away the straight at it approach where you potentially want to just slide it up to the basket. It's forcing you to come in at an angle, either right or left. Deanne trying to prove me wrong there.
Oh my gosh, almost throws it in. But a little bit long on the approach. Hansen. On. Oliva on 14's tee.
The basket is perched on an incline. The fairway's pretty small. You don't want to go off the incline because there's an OB line right below it. There's also an incline up on the right, and the OB line is at the bottom of that. The biggest factor for hole 14 is the wind coming ripping up. It's very, very unprotected.
And a live look down from the Flight Factory drone. Lisa Fakis for 4.
Just a little bit off on her putt today.
Katrina, a step closer for a birdie putt. A lot of chains, just a little left there for Allen.
That one did look a little bit, mechanically it looked a little bit better than some of her previous misses.
Carey coming back for par. It's a nice make.
That one looked good the whole way.
It did. After the rough start, she's kind of ripped off, 5 straight pars. Kind of found her groove here.
Didn't let the beginning disrupt her mood.
Yeah. Tatar. This would be for a share of the lead. Never
Now
in doubt.
that looked like a Tatar putt.
Yeah. And we'll look at this Tatar make. Dead center. Allen.
Oh, no.
First big putting miscue out of her today. Fakis. Puts home the bogey. Texas local Caroline Henderson on the tee of 14. Oh, that is great.
Beautiful control.
Weiss.
Wynn not letting that one stay in the air.
Yeah. Holland Hanley looking at birdie. Trying to ride that wind into the chains, but glances off instead. Shot up a 5-footer for par. Paige Pierce on 13 for birdie.
Wynn slapped that one down as well.
It really seems like it's picking up right now. Oliva. Oh, good make for birdie.
That is fantastic. It may very well be picking up, but this particular hole there's just nothing in the way. And when I played, it was by far the windiest basket on the course.
I can see that. Manduhano. That was a birdie putt and a birdie make. Her first of the day for Alexis. Back to 13 to Tar.
At 310 feet, this plays a lot longer than it looks.
And
here you can see some of that incline. You can't really tell from the tee, but I'd say it's at least 20 feet uphill.
Henderson. She's in your top 10 after that start. Wow. Hansen. 14's tee. And that will find the out of bounds.
Almost impossible to go over the edge and not find the out of bounds there.
Yeah.
And when you're down below the basket like that, coupled with the fact that the basket is raised, I almost think that it's impossible to get it into the, because the angle that you have to put it on, that's not the way that baskets are designed to catch.
That's a great point. Weiss. A little wider than Hansen. And it plays. That's a bullseye almost.
Still playing fantastically. She's got a very hard headwind to look into as she's putting, but great drive.
Pierce going right. Oh my gosh, this thing got smacked out of the air.
Hole 14 is about 300 feet, but it plays that less than that because it's slightly downhill. It looked like Paige had a putter in her hand.
I think it was, yeah. Maybe a mid at most. Allen on 13. And that will set up a birdie look. Back to Pierce. You saw the drive OB, now throwing 3. And that will save a 4 nicely.
Yes.
Live look down at 13's fairway as your leaders approach the green.
Thirteen's playing as the third easiest hole today, which is not unexpected.
Deanne with a long look at 2. Should be good enough. Looks like Tatar lining up next. A long look at birdie.
Nobody wants to get it up in the air to let the wind play with it.
Don't blame them. Fakis. And Nate, we just saw some rough putting on the green of 13. Thoughts on the win there?
Yeah, holes 13 and 14 are the windiest greens we've seen yet, and they're both just on a little slant. It's like Juliana said, it seems almost impossible when you're on the bottom side of the pin to make it here on either of these baskets.
Yeah. Tough task. Allen to grab a stroke on the card. Looks like a tailwind putt. I mean,
I'd rather have a tailwind putt in this position than a headwind, that's for sure. That was great. You have to have the confidence to get it up in the air and know that the wind's going to push it into the basket.
Kat finally catching her first bird of the day. She is back to 4 over on the event. Drop-ins for the rest. One more look at this Allen make.
The difficulty there is if the basket doesn't get in the way, the wind's going to push it a long way past.
That's a great point. And then you have a headwind on the way back. Hansen, you saw the drive get OB on 14. This to save par. And
yeah, I like the discipline there. That's just it actually is even more drastically sloped than that view indicated.
I believe it. That's one of the biggest things that get lost in the video translation is the elevation changes. I remember the first time I made my way to Winthrop, I got the hole 2, and I was like, "Oh, this hole is uphill." I've been watching it for years. It never clicked until you get there. Green of 14, Jessica Weiss.
Yeah, even from that distance, it's not a gimme. Oh, she did stay in bounds. That's at least one positive.
Yep.
But boy, I don't envy this putt coming back.
This is probably, I think she lays this one up.
Yes, well,
at least it's a tailwind putt.
But you don't, I mean, you just had a scary headwind putt, so you really don't want to leave yourself another one.
No, true.
But it looks like she's lining up to try to get this one in. Oh my gosh.
Jessica Weiss, ladies and gentlemen.
That is an impressive comeback putt.
Those are the putts that impress me the most. Pierce will make that bogey putt, I am sure. There are your scores. Hansen dropping off thanks to the bogey on 14, your solo leader, Tatar.
Look at how far Jessica has risen in the standings, all the way up to number 3.
Allen back on the tee of 14. Just enough.
Conservative line, keeping it low, hoping that it doesn't skip or fly left into the out of bounds.
Tatar.
If you go straight at this basket, you are throwing over the right-hand side OB.
Underturned.
It's got to get lucky.
It does. Wow.
Gosh. So she's safely in bounds, but I'm be interesting to see if she goes for that putt.
Yeah. Carey.
That's too far right.
Oh. Yeah, just couldn't find the ground play there. Damn, we playing for bogey from well back. We're Pageman out or
yeah,
somewhere around there. Fakis. Live look down from our Flight Factory drone, chasing this disc down the fairway. Wow, we picked a good one to watch from overhead.
Good control. Oh, and we can see that Kristen is much closer to the basket than we thought.
Oh yeah,
she's pin high. That that roll forward was very fortuitous.
It looks like a direct headwind for Kristen.
Yeah. On a raised basket on a ledge.
Yeah, it's a dicey proposition. Weiss. Head on 15. The flex forehand.
That's got to get over the green. If I had to guess, I'd say no.
You are correct. OB is the word from our friends at UDisc. Hansen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't like that kick. I think she's fine there. Had it not kicked that tree, it probably would have skipped closer to the pin.
Pierce.
Very direct line by Pierce.
Will it get off the green? Yes.
I think it will, yeah.
A long birdie putt if she wants it. Oliva. 16's tee.
Looks like that's going to hyzer back into the out of bounds. Oh, no, it stayed safe.
Oh, wow. Must have caught up there.
Okay, here you can see how peculiarly rectangular this fairway and green is shaped.
Tatar's birdie putt.
Oh. Tatar did not go for that.
Yeah, that was a good decision. And
Oh
Vegas.
yeah, Lisa didn't even go for that. Well, I think that's wise. This is just such a dangerous shot.
Katrina. I feel like she's got to run this.
Well, I don't think you have to do
Anything at this point.
Yeah, but it looks like she is giving it a chance. I think she stayed close to the basket. Oh, no, she didn't. But at least she's not out of bounds.
Yeah. Let's see if she can channel her inner Jessica Weiss and put this one home.
She just made a putt from below the basket on the previous hole.
Come on. What a make. That is crazy. You see that flag whipping while she was putting?
That is not an easy place to be. I think that the wind, again, she utilized the wind to her advantage there, and very impressive comeback putt.
Deanne Carey. That is a good bogey make after the OB drive. Tatar got a little bit. We'll need to make this to maintain the one-stroke lead.
And Tatar just laid this up.
Yeah.
So even her layup found the edge of that. Oh, nice. I see how
Good catch.
hits the top of the entrapment, but thankfully the wind is going in a direction that it keeps it in the basket instead of pushing it out of the basket.
Fakis drops in. Ahead, Jessica Weiss throwing 3 after the OB drive, and we'll drop in bogey. Nice little band-aid approach there. Ella Hansen on the same.
Low ceiling, not a problem.
Pierce has a birdie look.
Oh my gosh!
Dang! Your only birdie of the day on 15.
What a great hole for Paige.
God, that was a huge make.
She was calling for the drop when it was in the air, and she got it.
She got it. And now just 2 off the lead. They're giving her 73 feet on U-disc for that one. From the fairway.
Well, there was a downhill component to it, which distance-wise makes it easier to get to, but also makes it a little bit harder to calculate.
Sure.
So.
That was fantastic.
And that brings Paige back up into third place.
It's a pretty spicy putt. Oh, we're not going to do it. Katrina Allen on the tee at 15.
425 feet to the pin, 30 feet of elevation loss.
Cat keeping it low, but too low.
At least that's the safe side.
Yeah, true.
The green was never a problem for her.
Tatar. Did it get off the green? Yes, it did. Wow.
No fear going straight at it?
I guess so. Vegas into this ripping headwind. Almost blowing the T sign over.
Wind got under that one.
Sure did. This should get left enough?
Oh yeah, she's definitely going to be left enough.
Good.
That's not a bad spot to be at all because you have an open view of the pin. When you're on the right-hand side, the mound of the green might visually be in your way.
Hole 16 with Henderson, her second.
It was a pretty good drive.
That is a very good drive.
That's well down the fairway.
Oliva on the same, also throwing 2. She's going to be hanging out with Carolina. Oh, never
nice.
mind.
Yep. Those trees are only about 10 feet in front,
Oh,
so
yeah?
she's very close to the pin.
Nice. So live look down at 15. So your last feature card makes their way down the fairway. Ahead on 16. Hansen.
That's a fine shot.
On the same, Holland Hanley, a smashing drive, now throwing 2. Ooh.
Very well played. She should be within 20 of the pin.
Paige Pierce back on the tee.
Oh, playing the outside of those trees. Interesting. So off of the tee, anything in that bowl is out of bounds. So you either need to throw over the OB or pull it way to the right to find safety.
That was Katrina Allen's second back on 15 and had work left to do. Gets the circle's edge for the par save attempt coming up.
I think that the basket on hole 15 is not going to be nearly as windy, so maybe we can see some better putting on
Henderson with a birdie look. Ooh, it looked good. Just a little shy. Back on the tee, Jessica Weiss.
That's a good shot. Anything that finishes off to the right, you have to take those play towards those trees because that's the only safe zone.
Hanley, you saw the approach. Here's the birdie look. Fired home. Well done by Hanley. And She's now just 3 off the lead. That was a fakest approach back on 15. She's putting for par from circle 1 now. Tatar. That drive just barely getting off the green. That was, no, that's not bad. Paige Pierce on your screen. Second on 16.
Two-thirds of that flight is still over the out of bounds.
Oh my goodness.
And she's behind that tree, but like I said, those are only about 10 feet away, so that shouldn't be a problem.
I love that line she threw at it. A few moments before that, Oliva for birdie. Yes. Oh, she's even on the day. 2 off the lead. Back to 15's green. Allen for 3.
That's the putt that we want to see.
Really nice make.
Dampen the wind a little bit, and
you're right.
we get to see the cat that we have learned to love on the green.
Deanne Carey for 3.
Oh, curved it around that tree.
Awesome. It's back-to-back makes from circle 2 from your feature card.
That was a little bit of a trick shot there.
Yeah,
Nice.
had some flavor on it. Tatar, a little bit long and left on the approach, coming back for par. Oh, and the lead is gone.
We saw some pets last weekend in Waco fall off the left side as well.
Yeah. Vegas, no problem. And Tatar, the unforced error, a bogey. And now your co-leader with Hansen. She is headed to 16, as will we. Hansen throwing 2. Okay. Is that circle's edge or what's?
I think it's close to circle's edge.
Okay. On the same, Jessica Weiss. Also throwing 2.
Taking the direct route. A little bit left.
Yeah. Ahead on 17, our woods hole, Juliana.
Our one woods hole, yes. So there's a 90-degree turn about 180 feet off of this fairway.
Were you throwing putter off the tee then, or?
Oh yeah, I went putter, 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 putter.
Did you? Oliva did not go putter, 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 and she's gonna have to get adventurous now. That kicked left. Hanley. A little bit of North Carolina here in Texas.
This part of the fairway is the most open. Once you make the turn, it's much, much more tight. So I did expect to see people trying to skip down that fairway, though I really don't know that it's worth it.
Yeah. Weiss for birdie. Hole 16. Just that outside bullseye for her comebacker. Hansen for the solo lead.
Oh yeah. I like this view, being able to see the expression on her face as she's setting up that putt.
We just switched solo leaders there, right? With the Tar bogey, followed by the Hansen birdie. Back on the tee, Katrina.
That is headed straight towards the bowl, which is out of bounds.
And Allen will be headed to the drop zone. Nate, what kind of wind are we dealing with here on these tee shots on 16? We saw some wild action there from Katrina.
Yeah, it's kind of a direct tailwind here on 16, but I actually heard Katrina speaking about how her fingers have just locked up after being in the cold so long, and that's why I think she yanked over on that forehand there.
Gotcha, Nate. Thank you. You watched Fake's tee shot. Now Carey.
Lisa was way right, which is completely safe, but she's probably too far from the basket to be able to get it close for a birdie.
Nice spin there from Carey. Oh.
Yeah, I like the line, though she's definitely got to contend with those big trees.
Tatar. We'll see how she bounces back from the bogey on 15.
That's fine.
Yep.
Actually, that's great.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Nothing in the way there. Kind of a look down.
Yeah, this hole is really hard to understand. It's like the bowl with fluted edges, and everything that's in the depression is out of bounds. So though it looks like you wouldn't want to throw at those three big mature, kind of look dead, they're probably not just this time of the season, trees, but that is where you want to be, because that is the only safety. That's the only option other than going way wide right like we saw Paige do. And with this tailwind, that's actually an interesting play. Now here from the drop zone, this is reachable. It's about 330 feet, but you have to go about 270 before you're clearing the out of bounds.
What a recovery shot.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. A moment ago on the same page for birdie. Yes, one off the lead, now tied with Tatar.
This is a 515-foot hole, but the way Paige went, it was probably more like 570.
Yeah, sure. Back to 17 for Hanley. And that sidearm you mentioned, the juice not worth the squeeze there, is it?
The path is so tight that the chance of hitting it, well, even if you hit it, you're probably going to skip off of it. So, yeah.
There was Fakis. Her second, like you mentioned, probably not attacking the green, and she doesn't.
But that's okay. Par's fine on this hole.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a ripping tailwind, there is actually an unconventional shot off the tee here, throwing a big roller that then will curve and fight its way up the edge on the right-hand side.
Did you try it?
I did.
How'd it go?
I almost made it. It stayed about a foot in bounds,
or
out of bounds.
Tatar's second, hole 16.
Making that look pretty easy.
Yep, into the circle for another birdie look. Oliva, her third on 17. Forehand roller coming.
Putting a little bit too much on that, flipping it over to the left.
Back to 16 for Carey, and unfortunately did.
Oh, that tree's not in a nice place for her.
Manages it nicely, though, doesn't she?
Yeah, very pretty turn. She's got good control over turnovers.
Oh, almost throws it in.
Somebody who grew up playing in North Carolina, it's not unusual that they are forced to learn how to turn and curve their discs.
Almost catching the koozie there.
But I was like, ain't a spotted 30-degree 6 should be golden.
Holland Hanley on 17 for third.
What an aggressive run that looks like it was. Oh, my gosh.
That was incredible. Back on 16, Ficus, her third into the green. It's a little sod, but it will putt for par.
It's a good view of just how much of this area is out of bounds. Kind of feels like you're looking at a photo negative. Usually, you know, the middle of the fairway is safe and the edges are out of bounds.
Now that upslope, you can see how it caught Evelina's disc down there. And she got her big number on this one. Maria. Oh.
She's right on the edge of the out of bounds. I wonder if her roller was out of bounds.
Let's see if we can figure that out. On the fairway after 4 throws now.
You want me to go?
No OBs on you just yet, so hopefully that one did stay in. Yeah, it was very close. And Katrina Allen putting for par after the OB drive. Oh, Allen unable to convert after a great shot from the drop zone. Carry. It's a birdie look.
Seen her pull a few putts off to the right-hand side today.
Yep. Ficus, a par look.
That's a nice shot.
It is. This course finish is tough, Juliana. Look at these scores down here. There are a lot of bogeys in these last 3 holes.
Yeah, the last few holes are quite peculiar.
Oh my gosh. Tatar, another birdie. And she has a share of the lead once again. Allen for bogey. Wow. Hole 18 is averaging 2 1/4 strokes over par today.
We need to ask Nate what direction the wind's coming from for 18 when we get there.
Wow. We are headed to the woods on 17. They are making their way to the tee.
Right over there on the friggin' path.
Paige Pierce on the tee of 17. There's a putter, Juliana. Paige going to the fierce off the tee.
That's good. I don't mind that.
Trying to make the turn with the backhand putter. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice slow disc. Should be in a pretty good spot.
Hansen next up.
It's me. Is it not me? It might be you. I gotta check. I don't think it's probably me. I took a bogey 2 ago. Okay. I think it's you and me. Yeah, I'm just gonna check just to be. Yeah. Okay. It's sorry. Just want to make sure.
There you go.
That they were making sure the order there?
Yeah. I mean, technically there is a courtesy warning if you play out of order.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
That's as good as you're going to get. That's fantastic. And she's in the gap such that she should be able to make it, well, potentially can make it down the gap to have a shot at a birdie.
Holland's approach somehow got long of the pin coming back. This is a par look for Holland. It's a par make for Holland Hanley.
Holland's putter looks so good these days.
Yeah. Weiss back on the tee of the same. Maybe? Oh, so close.
hole 17. It's 436 feet. It's a par 4. It takes about an 85-degree right turn. The first part of this fairway is a little bit more open. You've got these big mature trees that you need to deal with. But right here, where it takes this turn, all of a sudden it just closes in with small saplings on both sides. And if you can somehow land in that opening, you've got a shot at the basket, but it's still 175 feet to the pin. So it's farther than that. It's 175 feet to that opening from the tee. So you've got a long, narrow stretch that is it requires the straightest shot possible.
It's right there. You can see it. That is wild.
If you get anywhere off of that obvious fairway, those small saplings are probably going to make it that you can't do an air shot. So you either have to pitch out, be disciplined enough to pitch out to the fairway, or you try the forehand roller.
Here are Korver's keys for closing, brought to you by blackinkdisc.com, the premium disc golf store.
Yeah, so we were talking about how unique the last few holes are, and so kind of jokingly, I want people to enjoy 15 because that's that downhill shot, and it's the most fun on the course. But then you need to stay focused on 16 because it's just so weird having that big bowl in the middle, and you just need to make sure that you play it safe and don't end up in there. And then on 17, you need discipline so that you don't be aggressive and take triple bogey here, which could be the case. That's a pretty good shot there.
She's going putter.
Yeah, yep. I like it a lot.
And it was shaped beautifully. Weiss just a bit off the fairway. We got a lefty forehand. It really is the Swiss Army knife today. This is so good.
The injury that she had years ago, forcing her to start working on her left hand, has been very beneficial in the end because she has both backhand and forehand with both spins.
Hanson's drive was fantastic.
She's fine. She's fine because this is a par 4.
Yep.
So, she doesn't have to be super aggressive on that particular shot. And I think she's close enough to the opening that she can possibly hyzer one through there to get it under the basket.
Yeah, just 3 birdies on the day on 17 so far. Shouts to Henna Blomgoose, Alexis Monduhano, and Emily Yale.
Good birdie.
Lisa Fakis. That's Socks, apparently. Is that her cat?
Yes, it is.
Cool. Looks cool.
Yeah, they're around the corner. Okay, so
Socks is very chill.
Yeah, you met him?
I have.
Nice. Looks like our feature card is about ready to tee on 17, but before that, an approach from the fairway for Weiss, throwing 3.
Similar to Holland's line, doesn't quite make it through.
So likely a bogey coming up there for Weiss. That'll drop her to 2 over on the round. Pierce pitches up with her 3rd. She will take the 4.
Putter, putter, putter.
Yeah.
Putter.
Yep. It plays on 17. Tatar busts out the forehand. But that's a slow disc.
That's a good spot.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of her trusty harps. Fakis. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think she found it.
So. Carry. The Paige Pierce line. Almost worked.
I don't think that height's necessary. I mean, obviously she's trying to get around the corner, bite off a little bit more, but my recommendation would just play it safe, go straight, make sure that you're in the opening, or not at least tucked into the woods.
That additional risk not worth the additional reward?
I don't think so on this one.
Yeah.
If the basket were 40 feet from there, yeah, absolutely. But the basket's over 200 feet from there.
Hansen throwing 3.
Nice.
Yeah. Jessica Weiss, this is for par. Oh my. Ugh. Great bid. Just short.
She had more of a look at it than I was anticipating.
Hokum for birdie. A ho-ho.
There we go. There's not a lot of birdies on this hole.
No, that's number 4 on the day. And back to the fairway we go to Tar. Can she cut the corner? It looks like it. Looks like another harp shot again.
Beautiful.
So smart.
Kept it nice and low. Didn't try to go for too much. Kept it in the middle so that she's now should have an easy up and down for par.
Jessica Weiss now coming back for bogey. Solid save. Pierce, a par look. A par make. Still 1 off the lead to Tar and Hansen. There are your scores. A live look at Holland Hanley, solo 4th on the tee of 18. Talk about 18, Juliana.
Okay, there is a green that comes into play. You can see the sand trap on the right-hand side.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Holland's playing very safe on the right-hand side of it. Now, I would guess that she is not going to go for the green from there because it is a pretty drastic turnover shot, and the basket is very, the OB is very tight towards the basket. We'll see that soon.
Back to 17's fairway for Katrina. This is her second.
Lined up is about as good as you can be.
Needed just a little more flip on that, but maybe an alley?
I think she's far enough down there that it should at least be an easy par.
Kind of like we saw from Weiss, maybe?
Yeah, although Weiss was potentially a little bit too aggressive and almost got herself in trouble going behind the trees, behind the basket.
I'll look down at our wooded hole. Do you have a favorite course in the Austin area?
Well, I don't know if I'd say. I have good memories from I have such good memories from Round Rock.
Yeah?
Coming out and playing the national doubles tournament there. It was so much fun, and it was always very, very windy.
Who was your partner?
I played with Annie Kreml one year, a couple years.
Uh-huh.
I played with Sheila Kirkham one year. Let's see, I think I had another partner in there too.
Nice. Carry into the green on 17, or just a little shy of there. Her third. Perk, what do our players think about this hole 17 out here? Have you heard any reactions so far?
Yeah, 17 has been one hold that I've heard a lot of talk about. I think the scale of this second gap, I mean, it's maybe 8 disc lengths wide with so many small trees and then OB. They think it's one of the tougher holes on the course.
They are probably not wrong. Let's see how 17's playing today. It's playing the third most difficult, so there you go.
Yeah, not surprised.
Averaging basically a stroke over par, 4.96. Facus picking a gap. That was her third. She'll drop in par. Can't be mad at that.
Nope, definitely not.
Carry. Throwing 4. Alan next to act.
I think this is Kat's third shot, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a long look at birdie.
Oh, she gave it a bid.
You'll love it. Katrina. Par comebacker.
You can tell that Kat's still cold. She put her jacket on just for that tiny little walk from one putt to the other. It's a nice looking putt.
Despite the cold hands. Nate, we're getting word that Paige is anxious to get off the course. Do you know why?
Yeah, Paige actually found out yesterday that she has a ticket to Willie Nelson's Luck Reunion. A very tough ticket to get. As you guys know, South by Southwest is happening this year, and Willie Nelson throws one of the biggest parties in the town. So she's headed straight to see Sierra Farrell and Willie Nelson right after the round.
What a day for Paige Pierce right there. Oh, there he is. There he is. That's amazing. Production killing the game. Love it.
Well, rushing through these last holes is not hurting her at all.
No, she's hanging. Just one off the pace.
When she's birdied the last two of the last three holes.
That's right. What a guy, Willie Nelson.
Someone who has spanned many generations.
Yeah, seriously, huh? They're trying to stay warm for their final drives. They are watching this, Holland Hanley.
So we see that Holland did lay up to,
Yeah.
This is the pinch point towards the green, and you see it's between the inside of the cart path on the left, and you can see the stakes on the right. So it is very, very skinny right there and doesn't get much wider up towards the green.
Will that find edge in time? It won't.
I don't think so.
Oh, no. Just need to be a little bit higher. It's going to be a bit of a round cooler there for Hanley on the finish. Although 18, like we said, playing the hardest on the course. Let's fly this really tricky finishing 18. Kind of reminds me of the Fort a little bit, you know.
I can see that, though. It turns in the opposite direction. So
Yeah.
this is a 612-foot par 4. There's a very slight uphill slope at the first part. You can see there's a green on the right-hand side that is OB, and that starts at about 290 feet. There's a sand trap that's a hazard on the right-hand side. If you're aggressive and confident in how you can land your disc, you can play to the left-hand side of this pinch point, and that gives you a much better line at the basket, but it's hard to stay safe. Now look at just how tight the OB is right here. It's 20 feet on the right and maybe even a tiny bit less than that on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a considerable uphill component from the pinch point up to the pin.
We'll look down at Sarah Hokum.
If she stays safe,
Yeah.
she's got a very good line. She can go over the OB, but it's an easier approach to stay safe on that second shot.
Paige Pierce, her final drive of the day, before she goes and hangs out with Willie.
Got enough power that hyzers over the green nicely, like also in a very nice spot to go for the green on 2.
Hansen.
Throwing a similar line to Paige.
Let's get off the green.
I definitely did
No,
not.
Didn't. Unfortunate finish there to her day. Weiss. This is the Hanley play?
I think so.
Is it wide enough? Oh, it's not. Gosh. That green kind of bubbles out long and right, doesn't it?
It does.
Ahead, Holland Hanley. Throwing 5. She'll have that left for 6. And a double bogey finish would drop Holland.
It's going to take her off the lead card, that's for sure.
It will, yeah. She'll be 3 over on the day, if that goes in. And Henna will be taking her spot.
The tricky part about this is that you really want to get close to the pinch point on your drive so that you've got an opportunity to get to the green, and the closer you get to that, the less room that you have for your landing.
And we have only 6 pars on 18 today. Oh my goodness. Got Missy Gannon, Owen Scoggins, Haley King, Emily Beach, Katie Tate, and Jill Norwick.
Okay, I can't wait to see Sarah's shot here. So this is so tempting to go for it. She's in a great spot. I'd like to know how far that is. It's probably under 300, but barely.
And her forehand's going to fade to that OB right if it doesn't go far enough.
And remember, there's an uphill component, so she's going to be throwing it uphill as well.
Big stroke implications on this shot, isn't there?
I guess if you want to make a mistake, you want to go OB by the basket. You want to at least clear
So she
the
wants to miss
island that
right
the basket is
if
on.
she's going to miss.
Or long.
Yeah, or long. That was a really nice shot.
She played that a little bit conservatively, so she's most likely not going to go for the birdie, but she will have a drop in par, I'm guessing.
And a par is grabbing strokes on
Yes.
almost
Yes.
everyone.
Even in good conditions, a par on this hole is going to be very good.
It's going to be exciting to watch this hole on Sunday. Hansen, the drive OB.
It looked like she threw a mid-range on this one.
Oh, I wonder.
It didn't look like it was a sharp edge disc.
Her third. This looks like an attacking shot.
That is an aggressive play.
It holds
she
on.
Found the safety. That is impressive.
And should be able to get up and down for bogey, limiting the damage.
Yes.
So it looks like Hansen likely will drop to 1 under to Tar, sitting at 2. Weiss. also drove OB. The road less traveled here.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love that play.
Someone did their homework on this course, eh?
I did not see that opening when I was playing earlier this week. That's great. Again, not aggressive such that she's hoping to get a birdie there, but an easy way to get partway down that fairway and have a pretty easy up and down for par.
A bogey.
Yeah, here you can see the gap. She's got to go over the rough, and it opens up nicely behind that big protecting tree. Yeah, I did not see that earlier. She hit
got
the limbs
saved by the trees.
I was gonna say she was smart enough to play something that was overstable that just falls out of the air. But she got a little help there. I don't think that would have stayed safe if it had not hit those limbs.
I am with you. She's having a great day today. We'll likely finish at 3 over. Should bogey finish, but still really solid. Some great golf in the middle there.
A lot of highlights by Jessica today.
Almost got the ham bone, just barely missed that putt on 10. Sure, we'll be seeing a bunch more of her tomorrow. Now back to the tee, to Tar.
Pushing left.
It is.
Yeah, that's out of bounds. Because of the wind, it looks like we've got a right to left headwind here. And so anything that starts to fade off is going to be just pushed much farther to the left, which now makes more sense why Ella ended up on the right-hand side of the green. Just almost played it safe to that side, but not quite.
Fakest, this looks wider. And it's just dancing up there.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. Probably not going to go for the green from there. Probably just going to try to throw up to the pinch point.
Lisa's so good at knowing her game and throwing the right shots for her.
Yeah, she doesn't get pulled out of her game plan very easily.
Allen. So this is something in Brody and Ezra's practice round. I noticed the greens later in the round are like plugged and sandy, whereas earlier they're very grassy.
You could be right on that. I do very distinctly remember all of the sand on the greens.
Yeah.
So you don't get the kind of hydroplaning that you often see.
There is carry short of the green there nicely. Nate, apparently there's someone throwing on Lisa. Do you have any info there?
Yeah, so
that one
first
right
MPO card off mistakenly thought that the fairway was clear, and they threw, and Lisa had to step off as she watched the disc fly into the middle of the fairway. So just a little miscue there from Ricky Wysocki's card.
Oh, dang. Well, at least it didn't affect her throw. You know, still in bounds. Ahead on the green, Paige Pierce to finish. That's a par, and that is a good par. Just the 5th of the day, I want to say.
Very nice finish for Paige. 2 under on the last 4 holes.
We've got some more. That's now the 8th par. Weiss. That's a bogey to finish. And nice after the OB drive. Hokum, a par finish. And Hansen, that should be a bogey. Yes, it is. Hansen dropping to 1 under, 1 off the pace set by Tatar. Back to the fairway for Fakis, throwing 3. Excuse me, that was her second?
Second one,
Thank
yeah,
you,
laying it up. And That path is not the out-of-bounds line. The out-of-bounds line is along the rough.
And Carey also laying up.
So those are both very good layups.
Allen's drive just stuck on that green.
Yeah, normally you get really nice skips off of a green, but not here.
Yeah. Let's see. She's got the arm for the up and down par if she wants to get aggressive, but
I think she is going for it.
It looks like it. Oh, piling on here, unfortunately. She'll be throwing 5 from right there.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. If she had not gone OB there, she didn't put a lot on it, so she wouldn't have really gained very much from where she would have been if she had laid up.
Yeah. This is a course that will make you manage your game, make you think about all your shots.
Well, it'll benefit those who do.
That's another way to put it. Tatar throwing 3 after the OB drive.
Now I expect she will be going for the green here. Oh, you can still see that wind is definitely still a big factor.
You have a distance guess on this shot?
A little under 300. At least I think that's what's going to play because of the uphill component.
Sure. Uh-oh.
That's more conservative than I would have expected. Oh.
Fighting back in bounds.
You know, our angle might be a little off. It might not have been nearly as dangerous as it looked like it was.
A long look for 4. Probably a bogey finish, though. Looks like we might have a 3-way tie here heading into day 2. Looks like we'll have Henna or Missy joining the gang on the lead card. Who has the lower PDGA number?
Good question.
Yeah. Henna's 5'9". Missy is 8'5". Wow. Carey into the green.
Right around circle's edge.
Mm-hmm. Vegas. Now her 3rd.
Looked similar to what Kristen's shot did. Pulled a little bit to the right, but was able to find safety. Now, one thing that's interesting here is they're throwing from where it is very windy, but the basket itself is protected by the rough on the right-hand side, so the wind diminishes significantly once the disc gets about halfway through its flight.
Allen. 2 OB shots, and now she throws 5. That will work for a 6 finish for Katrina. That's about par for the field on N18 today.
Wow.
Tar down there. A look at par. On make, and she carries 1 stroke into tomorrow. Wants nothing to do with it.
Well, remember that there's an uphill component there as well, so that was probably closer to playing like edge of circle 2.
Okay. But yep, 3-way tie. Headed into round 2. Vegas to finish. A par look in circle 2. Carry. It's a par look in circle 2 as well.
Another one of those just off to the right.
You love the effort, though. You love the go for it. It's been a cold tour so far. Vegas was a little chilly.
Vegas was very chilly. Actually, Waco had some moments that were quite cold as well.
Was it? Deanne, a bogey look. That's a nice make to finish her round. A windy putt. Vegas the same. Allen a 6. This will be followed by a Tatar 5. Well, let's check out our scores. That bogey means Tatar, Hansen, and Pierce all tied. Hannah Blomroos will be joining the lead card. And a whole host of names not far back. First thoughts on the day?
Well, it seems like those who didn't bogey were in better shape today than those who birdied it. It seems like staying away from trouble was more important than trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, especially with all that wind out there today. Learning the new track first lap around. One of our leaders, Ella Hansen, she is in the clubhouse. Let's send it on down.
With Ella Hansen. Ella, crazy conditions, obviously, brand new course.
Yeah.
Break down this opening round for us.
Yeah, I mean, I just tried my best to stay in bounds, throw good shots, lay up when I needed to, and take advantage of my good shots when I had birdie looks and stuff like that. So I think I did a pretty good job. Bit of a bummer OB on 18, but overall pretty happy with how I played.
Describe that second shot on 18 coming into the green, especially in these conditions. What's that like?
It's a little nervy. I mean, we had a really strong right to left wind, and so I'm throwing a forehand up that hill. It's pretty tough. I threw a pretty stable disc, just trying to make sure that it was going to come back over that sidewalk. I think it's from where I was, it's going to be pretty hard to get up and down and get that par, so I was happy just to be safe and get a long bid to save the par and take a bogey. It's all right with me.
Obviously the rough conditions, but what do you think of the course overall on like a calm day?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good, challenging course for FPO. It's not, in my opinion, it's not too bomber. I mean, there's some shots that help throwing long distance, but I'm not really throwing like full max power backhand drives on almost any of the holes, honestly. I'm throwing drivers, forehands a good amount, but yeah, I think there's only like maybe one or two holes where I'm throwing a backhand distance driver off the tee.
Conditions calm down tomorrow. Does that open up more aggressive play, or how does that change the game plan?
I think so. I think today, I was knowing that it was pretty windy out there, and my plan was, for the most part, lay up from circle 2 and beyond, just because I didn't want to, kind of shoot myself in the foot with that. Kind of screwed it up a little bit on hole 3, but, I think that it'll let me be a little bit more aggressive on the greens. I don't think that, and I might throw couple flippier discs instead of just sticking with the really stable stuff and trusting that. But yeah, I think it'll open up some more scoring opportunities for sure.
All right, that's LA Hinton right in the mix after one here in Austin.
Thank you, Ella. Looks like she agrees with you, not a bomber course.
No, really not. And then the numbers prove that as well. I mean, it's under 9,000 feet for the women, which might sound like a lot, but by today's standards, it's not.
Love it. All right, we're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we'll have the OTB after show for you there. We'll catch you there.
Check out the whole lineup at ClashDisc.com.
What people are going to notice when they pick up the Supreme Series is superior grip, superior durability.
The plastic feels great, and it's going to be something you're always going to want to reach for.
The J is our latest mid-range disc. Okay, where the Mako 3 has got a little bit of instability and the Rock's got a little bit more overstability, the J's right between, and you can throw it backhand, you can throw it sidearm, it's good in the wind.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines that NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make different so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
Why disc golf? It's the people. It's fun.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or two, and let it fly with Lonestar disc.
This looks perfect. Off the basket. Now it's rolling. It's headed for the OB. This needs to sit. Oh my goodness. It's safe. Right on the line. She's going to have about a 30-foot putt for the win. Okay, here we go. The putt is up. Boom, it's in. Strong side with authority. What an incredible moment. Yes.
And per the usual, Kristen Tatar with a share of the lead. Let's get some words from her, sending it down to the clubhouse.
I'm here with Kristen Tatar. Kristen, 1 under for the opening round here in Austin. Can you talk to us about the conditions and just how difficult the course was playing here today?
Yeah, the conditions were really tough, and I mean, otherwise the course is quite straightforward. I mean, I thought there would be better scoring opportunities, but I mean, the wind made it really tough and the cold as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm even surprised they had so many birdie looks, but it was just tough to putt with this wind. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with the score.
And would you say, coming from Estonia, would you say that you have some experience playing in the cold compared to some of our athletes here from the state of Texas?
I mean, I definitely have the experience. I've been playing it with snow and with cold, but this is something that I feel like you can never get used to it. It's never pleasant, but I just try to not think about it and just accept the situation.
And can you talk to us about how the course changes when it gets this windy, how at some point practice kind of goes out the window and you kind of have to play with your intuition? Would you agree?
Yes, most definitely. Today I was just relying on my overstable drives, not trying to do anything like too tricky. So with wind, I guess it's just really pretty much safe play, and that's what I tried to do.
And you are sitting tied for the lead at 1 under with Paige Pierce and Ella Hansen. Is there anything that you're going to change with your game plan going into round 2 tomorrow?
The game plan will remain the same. I just hope there's less wind and better scoring opportunities for all of us.
All right, well, congrats on the under par feat today, and we'll see you tomorrow for round 2.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate and Chris. In our last year, we tried to get her. She had better places to be, I guess, going to see Willie Nelson.
Priorities.
Yeah. Her job is done, I guess, for the day. Let's check out some highlights from the day. Hansen started off great. Birdie on 1 and 2, and 1 was giving people fits.
It was. 1 was very difficult with that screaming wind.
Tatar.
This was so well played. Over the OB, over the green, under the protector trees, right by the basket.
Man, a lot of great shots out here today. Paige Pierce.
Using all of the fairway.
Ooh. Almost sneaking in the 1. It was interesting to see in those Paragon notable statistics for Tatar. She was winning by throwing, not her normal awesome putting.
Yeah, we saw her miss some of those putts, and uncharacteristically, but I think that is more the weather-induced than anything else.
Yeah. From the fairway, Paige Pierce.
That was her birdie on 15.
There's Hansen on 16. Tatar back on the fairway of the same. Wonderfully done. Here is our stat breakdown for your 3-way tie at the top. All 2 OBs. Interesting.
And they all had 4 birdies. They're actually quite comparable across the board here.
They are very close. Interesting. Tatar, the worst of the putter, though, which is...
It's not what you would expect.
No. Really, some nice improvements from Hansen over the years. Her putting used to be her Achilles heel, and it has turned into a weapon now.
Yeah, she's becoming much more confident and believing in herself, and that goes a long way on the green.
It is all in your head, isn't it?
Oh, it's so much in your head.
It's hard to get out sometimes. What do you expect going into today, too?
I'm really excited for day 2. I hope that the wind dies down and we get to see some more aggressive play, because I think this course is going to be fun to watch when the girls are trying to go for birdies. Today it was more saving pars, and I hope that we get the opportunity to see them throwing a little bit harder and a little bit farther tomorrow.
I'm sure we'll see that. It's a very fair course. If you throw good shots, you're rewarded almost every time.
I would agree with that.
Love to see that. I'm sure they'll take advantage of that. Hopefully better conditions tomorrow. Let's OTB shot of the day this thing. Do you have an idea what it is?
Paige's putt on 15.
Oh, that's. I was gonna guess the almost ace, but that's a way better guess. Let's see. Yep. From the fairway, 73-footer for Paige Pierce. What a make! Is that the only birdie of the day on that one?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the only birdie of the day. Strokes on folks from the fairway. Wow. Here are your broadcast times for later today as well as tomorrow. So 10 o'clock for the women again, and we got an hour and a half, something like that for the gents. Sounds about right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I'm just looking forward to tomorrow.
Me too. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you soon.